The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, December 3rd, 2021. And today feels just a little bit gooder, doesn't it? Yeah. Shout out to you for watching at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. This morning we woke up in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana. And all of a sudden, you maybe take your morning grump, whatever you're going to do. You open your FanDuel Sportsbook account. You look at the account tab in the lower right corner. You see a lot more money than you did yesterday because our Super Boost, our heater horse, did in fact arrive to the barn of the Super Boost last night. Cowboys -2.5. We literally spent 45 minutes yesterday saying, this is a handout.
Yeah.
This is a lock. This is a gimme. This is a joke. Going into the holiday seasons, it was -230 with no Kamara. It was boosted all the way up to +100. Found out this morning that FanDuel lost more money than they had allotted to be budgeted for boost giveaways just last night.
Oh, that's too bad.
That is too bad.
Bummer.
Oh.
That was the message I got this morning from FanDuel. They're like, just want to let you know, last night, obviously you saw the tweet, $2.8 million, which is more than we had allotted for boost. I'm like, well, who allotted for the boost? Because we took some motherfucking money from you guys last year. Are you not paying attention?
Right.
Oh, that's because the budget grows bigger every time we make a terrible decision. So the game has begun with us in FanDuel a little late into the season. Okay, week 13. I understand it took us a long time to figure out what's going on. And maybe we don't know just yet because this NFL season has been insane. But last night, the Dallas Cowboys, with their entire roster back, traveled down to the Bayou to take on Taysom Hill and Sean Payton and didn't even know that Taysom Hill was going to end up with a broken finger.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was going to happen on his throne hand. But the Dallas Cowboys, in a game in which their offense looked terrible, win by 10 after a late tud for the Saints makes it a little bit of a sweat, I guess, for us, but never a dot. Early slug match, never felt like we weren't going to get a win. Cowboys get one. Nobody's talking about how good the Cowboys are because they did not look that great. Their defense still did their thing. Dan Quinn wore, backwards hat.
Yeah.
Florida Dan was
Yep.
still out there. Successful defensive coordinator in the sky. Dan Quinn, who's now interim head coach because Big Mike McCarthy had Omicron. Big win for the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, and also a massive win for us. The man, the horse, the heater horse hero of last night, one half of the hammered Dahn Cowboys, COVID Cowboy, Tone Diggs. Thank you for last night.
Thank you, Tony!
How'd you see the game last night? We watched it on iPhone, laptop, and then we got home by the third quarter because we had to take a trip back to Plum real quick. It was great to be back there. Good to see everybody, by the way. What were your thoughts as the game was going on? You weren't sweating that much. Tone wasn't that nervous.
Really? Well, and there's no reason to thank me, okay? This was above me, okay?
Oh.
This was above human.
Oh.
Because as I told you on Wednesday night, I looked to the stars.
Universe.
The universe.
Hell yeah.
We are.
I said, please speak to me, okay? And I think it helped that I removed faith from my pillars because I was able to see more of the universe.
Okay, so you thought God was potentially getting in the way.
Cloudy.
Jesus got his wings in the way all the time.
Clouding things.
Now, some people would, and I don't want to get off here because I feel like we're going somewhere special with you. Your brain is really, but some people would say, what you're hearing from the universe is actually God.
From God.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of interchangeable depending upon where you believe, which book you bought into first, and which one your family told you was right. I think depending upon which one you're going for. But anyways, happy to hear that it was a little bit clearer in the universe last night and yesterday for you to make this pick.
Yeah, and I looked to the stars, and it was Omicron, so COVID. I had COVID. Cowboys are playing. I wear a cowboy hat. Okay, COVID Cowboy. Like it's got to be the Cowboys. Your name's Tony. Oh, Tony Pollard's gonna score 50-yard rushing touchdown.
What?
Oh, Tony Diggs. Diggs is gonna have another interception.
What?
Taysom Hill's playing quarterback. We don't know what the fuck's going on there.
What?
You love giving people a middle finger. Taysom fucked up his middle finger.
Wow.
So, I mean, it wasn't really me last night. It was more of me being able to read the stars with a clear mind. So that's what I'm going to attribute it all to.
Hey, whatever.
Hey, attaboy, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Hey, it was destiny. It was destiny last night. The Diggs would be the one that would saddle the horse of a heater ship for us to ride into a super boost paradise, which we are going to begin. But I don't think anybody's happy with last night's game.
No.
Saints fans aren't. Cowboys fans aren't happy. Big Mike McCarthy wasn't there. They're still making poor clock management decisions. So we talked about this yesterday. Will the same clock management person that was in Mike McCarthy's ear be in He or she was.
Turns out, yeah.
He or she was.
Yeah.
End of the half, 2 timeouts, sitting on it, had a red zone drive. Maybe could have made some plays, but it's okay. Kellen Moore decides, a couple different times, we're actually not going to run the ball here. We're going to throw the worst pass Dak has ever thrown, actually, on third down. Let's stop this clock, make sure they don't have to use their timeout. There's a lot of decisions made this late into a season that you would think, hey, how is a team that's going to be an actual team doing things like this? But Big Mike wasn't there. There was a constant that was removed. There was a certain one person, like Dan Quinn. They talked about this last night. Imagine if Dan Quinn goes over to Kellen Moore, and next week he's just defense coordinator, by the way. So he's sitting literally right next to each other at the table that Jerry and Big Mike are at the head of talking down to him. Imagine Dan Quinn goes over to Kellen Moore and goes, hey, you see me, Kellen, backwards hat? We're like the same now. You're young, I'm young. Fucking run the goddamn ball. What are you trying to lose this game for? And Kellen's like, hey, Dan, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Because later in the year, if that defense does something, Dan Quinn was in a bad spot there.
Yeah.
And there was people that were like, hey, somebody's got to tell Kellen to run the ball, or this is a young playmaker, or whatever the internet was. I even said, hey, Kellen Moore, run the damn ball. Dan Quinn, though, is in a terrible spot. There's no way so unless Jerry hops on the headset and goes, hey, Kellen, listen, did you see what I fucking said to the fan, WFAN? Did you see we're going to feed fucking Zeke, pal? Do you not have Twitter, Kellen? Do you not wear backwards caps like that? Did you not run the fucking ball? Unless Jerry's doing that, who would be the person to tell Kellen Moore that? It can't be Dan Quinn, because literally in however many days, obviously, we hope for Big Mike. Hey, he's
better, Mike.
I assume blood pressure wasn't great watching that game last night.
No.
That team he's had to look like, whoa, what is this? Amateur. Hey, still going to win, though. Still going to win against a completely depleted Saints offense. Saints defense, still the Saints defense, too. So we got to give them credit as well. But I didn't know how it was going to pan out. And it wasn't until those situations where I was like, Dan Quinn can't say a fucking thing. Dan Quinn, former head coach, he knows this. Dan Quinn also knows, in 4 days, I am no longer
head coach.
I've actually been here for less time than this guy. Yeah, it is. It was fascinating to watch it all pan, but it was great getting that win. Go ahead, Ty.
Well, I think just the way you said it, and just as a fan from a team that's up there in the NFC, you look at the Bucs and it's okay, that is a team that the Packers, the Bucs are very good. They're going to be fine in the playoffs. We really don't know about the Cardinals yet. We'll see, but it does seem like it's the same Cowboys team. They look so good. They're unbelievable on paper. They're explosive, but then they go play and they just continually do those dumb things that it's hey, these teams that are going to go to the NFC Championship, go to the Super Bowl, they don't do that kind of stuff, especially in the 13th week of the season.
Hey, now it was the first game where they had all their stars back. And we did talk about maybe a little chemistry issue, but they're stars for a reason, because they're able to buy into teams. That's a part of being a star, is being able to fit into an offense, right? And I guess the thought of them all being back is great news, and maybe they'll be able to build up chemistry, and you don't have to be playing your best ball until a week ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So them still trying to figure it out. There's been late bloomers. There's been teams that have got hot late, but it is this late in the season whenever you see some teams and you see some other teams, and maybe it's just bad game, but it looked like that is potentially what they have been the last few weeks, and they got very lucky with what the New Orleans Saints have been going through.
Yeah.
With that being said, very difficult to win in the NFL.
For sure.
Yeah. So the Cowboys should be happy. Cowboys fans should be happy that you get a win. It's good for your record. But if you're watching this weekend and you're seeing any of the shit going on at the top of the NFC, I think there's a lot of people that potentially realize that our team's good. Hey, it's good. We got a good team. The NFL is good. It's not the Lions.
No. No
Worst
hope.
offense ever.
They're so bad.
Worst offense in the history of the NFL. In an offensive-friendly league.
Yeah.
They're breaking records from back in the 90s of lack of production in offense.
Yeah.
It's fucking
It's absurd.
The NFL has tried to rig the game for offenses to have success. And the Lions are like, no, we're old school. We don't have success on offense.
No. We want to win every game 14-9.
Okay, maybe even 9-6.
Yeah.
And those kneecaps we were gnawing on, we're gnawing dubs now. And they are coming in very little bites. They are close. They are low. These are battles. These are cardiac type games. But Dallas Cowboys should feel good they're not them.
Right.
Or any other team for sure. But at what point, like Dak and CD seem to be on different pages on numerous occasions. Now, granted, big time plays by Gallup. I mean, he has a. And Tony and I were watching this game on a private plane on a laptop. No big deal.
No big deal.
But it was freezing. So the internet not great because you're on an airplane. So like there was a one-handed grab by CD Lamb.
Back in the end zone.
It paused
We thought
when he caught the ball and his feet were just a blur. We're like, holy fuck. Did CD Lamb just score a touchdown? We're about to go crazy. So he wasn't even close.
No.
The Michael Gallup thing, similar situation.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But we did not give him the credit like, oh, he probably caught that. And then he actually did. It was like, holy hell. So they have those spurts. Can they just remain consistent? And that's what great teams are. They're consistent and they don't make mistakes. And that's just, it didn't seem like that was the Cowboys last night. They get a win, though.
I think with them, you should be optimistic because, all their stars were back for the first time or whatever last night. And they're only going to continue to meld and get better on offense. And they won't have those things like CD and Dak had. But then on defense, when you have Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence was back and then Randy Gregory comes back next week, if you could get after the quarterback on defense, like, that's 75% of the battle.
Hey, Diggs is greedy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He's got 9 of them. 9, and that's a lot of picks.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't hear the same amount of backlash about how terrible he is as a corner last night whenever I tweeted about him having 9 turnovers by himself, which is, now granted, the system and the scheme, I understand it's not just him, but they had him back there returning punts at one point last night.
Yeah.
They got a lot of faith in the athleticism that is Trayvon Diggs, and they let him do his thing. But it's not as much as, he's giving up 4,000 yards, and maybe it's because it was Taysom Hill last night or whatever. He made a couple good throws.
Oh, yeah.
4 drops, so he should have 4 more completions than he has. But that Harris touchdown also, it felt like the Cowboys were already celebrating. So those yards potentially cut in half as well. Not an incredibly impressive game from Taysom Hill. Jumped over a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Threw some good balls. But also, don't know why we've been starting Simeon over him for a while.
Yeah.
If he's even a thought. I don't think Simeon is like night and day better than Taysom Hill. You signed Taysom Hill to a $40 million potential year deal. You love him. Is it like the gimmick plays are worth more than him potentially developing as an actual quarterback when you have no quarterback? I don't know what's going on down there in New Orleans. I don't know how Sean Payton's handling that entire thing.
Well, he had the thing on like the bottom of his foot, plantar fasciitis or whatever the hell it's called.
Plantar fasciitis.
There it is. Okay, cool. And that's why
We learn something new every day.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, words are words sometimes.
And it is spelled with an AR at the end, so you gave that a little credit.
Plantar.
Yeah. Well, that's it's plantar, but it is spelled with an AR.
Okay, well, I'm a big pronunciation guy.
I know.
Sure,
I know Omicron.
Omicron, exactly. Omicron, whatever the hell it is. But it makes more sense to start Simeon and use Taysom Hill in that,
if they're going to be the same.
Especially without Kamara. I feel like.
See, in my head, I'm thinking that Taysom Hill's upside, because of how athletic he is at quarterback, has to be much higher than Simeon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whenever you're going back in, now maybe Simeon. Hey, listen, Mike White came out and had good 5 quarters.
That's right.
Remember? I thought I should have been number 1 overall.
Should have been.
Yeah.
I fucking love Mike White. I think he does potentially follow the show as well.
Yeah.
But that was crazy, the interviews and the press conference that were happening after a good game against the Bengals.
Bengals, yep.
He sliced and diced the Bengals. And maybe Simeon is a guy that just needs the right opportunity and everything like that. But the way Peyton talks about Taysom, and then you see Taysom play quarterback and you see how Simeon plays quarterback, I don't know, maybe I'm getting something way wrong, and maybe the threat of him being a weapon is there. But this could be a time to develop him, especially with him and Kamara. And if you're, I don't know, it's just, I guess keep him in the gadget role is fun because it adds a wrinkle to your offense. When he's coming on the field, the defense doesn't know, what is this, 11 personnel, 20? I mean, they don't know what the personnel is because they don't know where he is. I get it in the red zone and third down. Those are very fucking important plays. Can't you do all those things when he's a quarterback, though, too? I mean, Lamar Jackson, they've been able to figure out how to do it with Lamar Jackson. They've been able to figure it out. I just don't know how Sean Payton, who is this actual genius offense. I mean, every record Drew Brees has, I'd assume you could also attribute to Sean Payton because that offense was just so fucking dynamic. I don't know how they haven't had that figured out down there. Now, once again, RB1, RB2 out, left tackle 1 out, right tackle 1 out, wide receiver 1 out. I mean, quarterback 1 out. Everybody's out on the offense. But even more so, it's like, Why are we just not having him do his? He jumped over a fucking guy last night.
Yes.
I mean, could you not make an offense around that? I don't know.
I mean, he runs for 100 yards last night. So if you have that, if he was 19 of 30 instead of 19 of 40, and like Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara, who's
and
there,
didn't throw
like,
5 picks.
the picks.
We haven't even got to the 5 picks yet.
Yeah.
But also, that's the end of the game. You know, and this I feel like I'm giving a lot of credit to Taysom Hill, like too much of a leash, because he did throw picks to everybody. And in my video congratulating Diggs, I'm actually like, you get a pick, you get a pick, you get a pick 6, actually, because he had to start opening it up. But I don't think they can be an offense with Taysom Hill where they have to throw from behind.
No way.
Right? Like, this is one of those things where, I don't know, him throwing 5 picks is obviously incredibly terrible to my narrative that he should potentially start over Simeon, but I don't know if Simeon's running for 100 and some yards either.
No
way.
way.
You know, and that's I don't know.
Well, and like with him as a gadget, like they haven't really been using him this year. Like you don't see him scoring touchdowns, catching passes. So like maybe if you don't have a guy like Drew Brees, like he becomes less valuable as a gadget player. And I was kind of joking yesterday when I said like, hey, he needs to run it 35 times and they need to have the ball for 42 minutes. Like
that's real though,
legit. And when you have all these guys out, like. That's why he's not. I don't think but he's a stopgap guy. Like they could just put him in, and like, if he throws 15 times a day,
and they haven't been able to get on the same page for whatever reason. Right. I think it's because they want him to throw the ball to Kamara.
Exactly.
If you guys just become a run offense with Taysom Hill and Kamara and maybe a little screen game and everything like that, I mean, they can. And Sean Payton's much smarter than us. This is us just watching, going, how is this the decision, especially with how good that defense is?
But even in last night's game too, they were never down by an amount where it was like, okay, we have to throw now. Like there was that one drive where Taysom Hill ran it like 5 consecutive plays and they got like 30 yards. Like they were just like when they actually settled in and let him kind of just run, they were kind of having their way with the Cowboys a little bit. But then all of a sudden it'd be like, all right, first down, we'll throw one, and then he'd throw 3 consecutive passes incomplete, and they'd have to punt. It was like it made no sense.
Blake Gillikin pounded balls last night. Anger had a couple bombs last night. That was good to see, obviously. Always good to see. Sean Payton's, every time I judge somebody's offense and what the decisions they're making, I feel like a hypocrite, because when I was in the league and people would be like, hey, why is this happening? I'm like, dude, they watch fucking 20 hours of film a day. Like, all right, have you watched every snap this defense has taken for the last 4 fucking years? Okay, that is what these people are doing. But it's hard not to whenever you look back, because in Sean Payton and Kellen Moore and these guys, they're competitive. Let's assume they have some egos as well.
Yeah.
So, like, to get through a game for Sean Payton where the quarterback is maybe only throwing the ball 10 times, and he knows how good his offense is potentially designed to throw the ball. I wonder if that gets in there in the middle of the heat of the moment, too. Sean Payton knew there was no reason they should have been in that game last night.
Yeah.
So if he's trying to, like, steal some real quick, like he had with Harris, by the way. There's one where Harris slips.
Yeah.
Where if he makes that cut, he's potentially off and running, too. He is dynamic. He is a dynamic player, that guy. So I wonder if that creeps in, too. Like, for Kellen, hey, we throw this ball right here, we move this game's over. Like, let's go and do this. As opposed to like, hey, we could also run for the first down. But Kellen Moore's thinking, if we throw a dagger right here, and then the worst case scenario happens, they show his face and he's like, oh shit, I didn't even prepare for that to potentially happen because of how good Dak is. Right. I guess it's learning curve, but Sean Payton, he's at that level where I don't know if it's learning curve. I think it's just like, does he want his offense not to look like that? Does he, like, I don't want to be associated with an offense where the quarterback is running it 30 times. I don't know. Those are decisions that have to be made, because that defense is going to win you games down there at the Saints.
And with that cap situation, like we were talking about, like I can't imagine him not be, if a guy like Rodgers or Russell Wilson or someone like that is available, like he's not doing this bullshit another year. Like,
well, then all of a sudden, by the way, Taysom Hill's back to that role that he had.
Exactly. And maybe he's paid, he's happy. I mean, because after watching last night, like how much higher is his ceiling as a quarterback? Like I think we know exactly what he is.
I think he can. I don't know. Like I just think the RPO game that they can get to with him reading, and I don't know why you put. I mean, maybe I missed something on Simeon. I haven't watched enough of Simeon. I just
stinks.
I think the original
he's just bland
quote,
white. Right? That is literally
probably just safer. There's no. I don't think there's a risk of Simeon throwing 4 or 5 picks in a game. That's probably their mindset.
When Taysom, those are all like fourth quarter. He threw 3 in the
fourth quarter in the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, so those are all just like. And granted, they are still picks. They are on his fucking on his.
And the pick on the sideline earlier in the game was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Yo, the fucking hovering.
Yeah,
curse.
Was he? You know, there's those memes. where somebody gets excited potentially and they're laying on their dick.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that looked like.
Yeah, did.
He was.
It's an incredible talent.
yeah.
It was unbelievable. There's no. Once again, we're watching this on an iPhone. There's no way that fucking guy caught that ball. And then they show the slow mo. Then they go into break. They come back. I was like, yeah, he did. That's one of the best catches.
Yeah.
And then Michael Gallup's like, hold on, I got one too. That team is littered with highlight reel moments. Can they get it all together? Because it's not about the highlights. It's about whether or not you can fucking win in 4 quarters.
That's right.
Man in the arena.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Watch Man in the arena. Just do your job, dude.
That's it.
Just do your job.
It's a pretty simple game when you just do your job, Pat.
And if a highlight comes, cool. But we need it for all 60.
Yeah, highlights don't matter.
That's right.
Go get another one.
Highlights, by the way, sell jerseys and,
What?
maybe run up the numbers or whatever. Winning is all that matters anywhere.
Buys that too.
That conversation about Brian Kelly.
Oh,
Okay. We should talk about it. All right. Because this clip was displayed and showcased to my eyes. And I said, God damn, Brian Kelly is going to get murdered for that. And they said, oh, yeah, he is. Because I was not on the internet at the time whenever this video had hit the internet. I was in the middle of something, catching up with some people back in Plum. That was very cool. But as soon as I saw it, I go, oh, that he's getting it, huh? And they're like, yeah. And what he's getting it for is there seems to be quite a change in dialect, in
sure.
in speaking, in tone, in everything of Brian Kelly, just like 24 hours apart from each other. And it was pretty noticeable, I guess, by the internet. Go ahead and run that thing.
Those incredible 12 years of my life, for me and my family, being here at Notre Dame.
It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana.
My family.
family.
Hey, now listen, people are burying Brian Kelly because he's easy to bury because he did actually be a part of burying a child.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point. So, I mean, there was a lot to talk about Brian Kelly, and his head almost exploded at a lot of times. And I saw him at Cincinnati when he was on his, I was at West Virginia, he was at Cincinnati. They had great teams. Okay, they had great teams with great games. He was a psychopath, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's gone up, he's evolved, he's grown. The way he has left Notre Dame. Yeah, still it has to be. He's a college football coach.
Nut job.
The way he left Notre Dame with college football, everything that's going on, obviously he is college football coach through and through, Brian Kelly. Okay?
Sure.
He will do song and dance if he has to do song and dance whenever. With all that, and we are not Brian Kelly fans here. Let's go ahead and make sure that is. We respect that he's been able to win, but we assume that winning in college football, if you're not like Nick Saban who just has a factory, there's some shit probably happening behind for some people, not all people. So we are not Brian Kelly fans necessarily, but pretty hypocritical if everybody started burying his family all of a sudden. Could you imagine getting dropped down in the bayou? Did you hear how Coach O spoke? That's how the natives spoke down there. Brian Kelly was walking office to office, booster to booster, meeting to meeting, lunch to lunch yesterday, meeting everybody down at LSU. Hey, that's who he's talking to. I mean, that's how, I don't know how he wouldn't have picked up just a little bit. I mean, there's people talking with the Yinzer accent all over the place from this show. Now, I don't know if it happens within the first 8 hours, but I will be one to tell you. I played soccer over in England. I was mating all of them. You know? Hello? I mean, I played soccer in Paris as a kid. I came back, right? Yeah. They asked questions. Yeah. After everything, yeah. I was speaking like for a couple of days. I order food from different places. My mouth immediately, just to speak to him. I don't think we should be burying Brian Kelly for this particular action. I think it could happen to everybody, but goddamn, it is a great added piece to the recipe of this guy sucks. And the internet has gone bananas with it, obviously.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you said, like, is it a huge deal? I mean, they loved it in the arena, obviously.
My family.
They were going
We had
nuts.
gumbo earlier today.
But it is, it's like, hey, any feather you can put in your hat to say this guy fucking sucks, more people just jump at the opportunity to, and he provided one.
I do love the fact that the LSU community, who would normally not stand for this guy or any of the shit, like if this happened at Alabama or anywhere else with Brian Kelly, they in the moment have to believe, especially publicly and everything like that. And it sounds like they're in. Hey, I feel like they're supporting his family.
I think so.
I think they're going to get going. And Brian Kelly has won a lot.
Everywhere.
Now he's in the SEC. That team's going to be good. It does not matter how many families or accents you have. If you win, people will be fans. Highlights don't matter.
No.
If you win, people. Now, if you stink, the highlights are the only thing selling.
That's right.
Yeah.
But winning is literally the biggest fan creator, the biggest number generator, the biggest everything. And this guy knows that, and that's why he can do all of the insufferable shit that he does, because all he does is win.
Yeah.
But man, if he starts losing down there, I think his family is going to be experiencing something much different than they've ever experienced before.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have enjoyed, because you were talking about how the feather in a cap just for this, like all the stories about Brian Kelly being a piece of shit, like with LaFleur and Salah inviting him over to the coach's Christmas party and saying, "Hey, you're parking cars and shoving the driveway."
Hey, you're actually valet. We are having fun.
I have enjoyed all that stuff this week, and like this is just a feather. In the
Well,
cap.
Notre Dame too. There's a lot of shit coming out of Notre Dame
Yeah.
too. Those are only going to continue to leak out.
Assistants apparently who.
Yeah, I'm not fucking going down with that guy.
Stabilizing the program.
Marcus Freeman, one of the coolest dudes of all time. He's about to be. We are here. Like
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do. We have a house where we already built a goddamn team. We're gonna get going. Congrats to Marcus Freeman. Bro.
There you go. Is that the Dick Corbett head football coach? Is that like the
That's
pit?
the.
Marcus Freeman, Dick Corbett, imagine if Corbett's last name was Pond.
Man.
And we were able to get back-to-back days of Dick Pound references. I mean, that would have been a big-time thing for us. Dick Pound, by the way, Olympian. Get off our ass.
yeah, exactly.
Anyways, congrats, Marcus Freeman. Happy for him.
Boy, Marcus.
The moment where the strength coach, who is usually the closest with the team, because you're with it. There's not as many rules for how much time the strength coach can be with the team. The strength coach is with the team at 6:30 in the morning, all off season, all summer. When the coaches are recruiting, the strength coach is the closest coach to the team. So the strength coach has to have a great relationship with the team. I think in most places, I've heard that some places did not get along with their strength coach. I don't know how that would be possible without quitting or leaving or entering the transfer portal, because the strength coach's job is to turn you from a boy into a young adult. You hear stories of people putting on 30, 40, 50 pounds of muscle. That doesn't just happen because you get older. That happens because you're in that weight room for hours and hours, drinking protein shakes and other nutritional things that are taking place that are all structured by the strength coach. So the strength coach is technically for everybody. Where some coaches have to pick and choose who plays, who doesn't play, who they like, who they don't like. The strength coach should feel like an ally. The strength coach is for everybody being better, because that is what they are going to be judged off of. So the strength coach at Notre Dame introducing Marcus Freeman as the head coach, who was already a coach there, I think was a brilliant idea. I think it was a very good idea. In that reaction from the Notre Dame players, if you have not seen the video, you should go check it out.
It's awesome.
Now, Cynic says, those kids' scholarships are now being controlled by that guy.
Sure.
Those kids' future are now being controlled by that guy. Those kids' playing time are now being controlled by that guy. But that felt like a genuine reaction for a coach that they had a lot of respect for, a coach that they saw as an assistant, a coach that they saw as a defensive coordinator, somebody they could relate to, much younger. I assume, I don't know him that well. I got a chance to chat with him at Cincinnati's training camp a couple years ago. He's probably vastly different than Brian Kelly as a person. That team felt like, hey, we're not going to miss a step here. And if Marcus Freeman can win at Notre Dame, he's very young. He'll be there
Until he retires.
forever.
Unless he wants to go coach in the NFL.
And Notre Dame will take care. That's like the big thing. Like Brian Kelly going to LSU and acting like Notre Dame was like a small thing.
Yeah.
That was fascinating to me.
Oh, yeah,
because
and they'll never forget that.
yeah, that was they will not. He will not get a hero's welcome, I don't think, back because of what he did. But Marcus Freeman has a chance to really set himself up here in his coaches, which are young. You saw Tommy Reese, very young. If you went, this video is incredible. Here he is. This Marcus Freeman gets introduced here by the strength coach, and I think the players are just finding out. Let's go, he says. Hey, that's dope.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like genuine excitement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'll see a lot of the college players for their coaches excited, but the coaches have eyes.
Yeah, right.
You know, and if you're, and then somebody's, all right. Okay, let's assume that person's life is going to be tough, whether it's getting their scholarship removed or losing playing time or just in conditioning or cardio in the summer, oh, there's a different time that this particular position group has to make until old buddy potentially
Let's make this guy quit.
leaves. Yeah. So there is so normally my natural reaction whenever I see college players excited about their coach, I'm like, well, they fucking have to be. Like there's literally no other option. You have to dive a little deeper to see if it felt real. Feels like Marcus Freeman's got that team. And I assume with Notre Dame's backing and Notre Dame's national television every fucking week on NBC and with his young ability, I think they're going to continue to be a wagon. I think Notre Dame's in maybe the best position they've been in a long time. And that's saying a lot whenever you lose your coach midweek out of nowhere before a potential college football playoff berth. I mean, that is insane to think about, but I think all parties are much better off here. And by the way, we don't know if LSU is much better off or not.
No.
Yeah.
True.
Brian Kelly wins, but the SEC is a different animal.
Especially with Texas and Oklahoma coming in. But what if Bama
Lincoln
does?
Riley's out though, so
True. Who cares about Oklahoma?
Well, is Arch going to Texas though? If we got Arch and Sark,
Then.
Arch and Sark, dominating from start.
Sark
How about
might get
that?
fired after this year.
Not if he lands Arch.
True.
And he,
So he
damn,
honestly should just take the rest of his time off of this season and
Go right to
go
New
get
Orleans.
Arch.
Go right to New Orleans.
Go get Arch.
Hey, what do we need to do? You want to start a 17-year-old? I don't think anybody's done that in a long fucking time.
yeah.
He's the perfect quarterback for that offense, right?
Yeah.
He's Mac.
I think
He's
so.
Mac, basically. Right?
Yeah, probably a little more athletic, but still.
Yeah, he moves.
Yeah, he's fast.
He's the fastest Manning.
Yep.
He's been at the Manning Passing Academy, which all these NFL players say, hey, this Manning Passing Academy was offering every day of his life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Sark, I guess you got to go get him. But the SEC is going to fucking chew them up for a while. I mean, Alabama ain't stopping.
No.
Is that Georgia defense going to forget how to play defense?
No, Kirby Smart's still there.
By the way, Jamal Adai, West Virginia alum.
Yeah.
His first year down at Georgia, coaching down there.
Oh, is he?
How about that?
Best defense of all time. I don't know. You tell me. You out of the West Virginia down there. What do you tell me? Is it because Jamal Adai? I don't know. You fucking tell me. What's the X factor? Kirby's been there a long time, hasn't he?
Has been.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Jamal Adai. I don't know what happened with him in Morgantown. What are we doing? I'm trusting the climb until the fucking guy leaves, and then he's part of the number one defense
Coach Brown.
in the history of the world. What's going on? Former teammate of mine. Love that guy. Central Michigan coach there for Minnesota. No, Central Michigan. Then I think he was at Minnesota. Remember we were out there at Minnesota Super Bowl?
Yep.
He was in Minnesota. Then Then he was at West Virginia. Now he's at Georgia. And he's been there for a year, and he's posting these pictures that I never seen whenever he was at West Virginia. I mean, I think Georgia's got like a graphic designer for my fucking dude's got action photos on a sideline with like full texture around him with the undefeated record and then the defense below. And I'm like, fucking good for you, dude.
Yeah.
But it's different down there.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. It is different down there. And it's a real thing. It's a very real thing.
There was a time, like, I mean, prior when you were in college, like 10 years ago or so, like Notre Dame and Ohio State, like it wasn't just like if you were in the Midwest or wherever, like you're going to go to Ohio State like it kind of is now. Like Notre Dame used to have one of the best recruiting classes every year. I mean, I'm sure they still do, but like there are so many good like Catholic high schools in the United States that they already have that built-in pipeline with. Like if he can
Is that real?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so
Jesuit.
so Central Catholics in Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, not in Plum. I would assume the Pope just calls down and says, hey, Notre Dame needs a fucking quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that how that thing works?
think-
Do they just have like a Pope phone? They just call to every Catholic school and go, congratulations, you get to be a part of the Fighting Us. Like,
Yeah,
is that what
I would imagine that like every very good prep player that is at a Catholic high school, like Notre Dame has a nice little beacon on them.
Because I don't want to talk shit on Notre Dame. Growing up in Pittsburgh, I did not understand why this team is fucking on TV every week. I watched the movie Rudy. I thought it was cool, but I mean, it wasn't enough to get me like, okay, I love. Midwest, though, loves Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame has because they were the first ones with national television, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were the first ones with a TV deal. So they were the big, like, hey, Notre Dame, and also the Catholic.
A lot of Catholics too.
Allegiance,
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Pittsburgh, I had no idea. And then I was at West Virginia, and our team was going, and Notre Dame was, like, ranked higher than us all the time. I'm like, what the fuck has this team done? Like, what is this team? They always lose or whatever whenever they get in a thing. And it's like, oh, they are huge. This team is huge. Not just the team, like, That network is gigantic.
Yeah, massive.
And I didn't even know they had a direct plug to all the Catholic schools in America. I should have known that, though. That's obviously the Pope's showing up in a fucking Pope mobile, Marcus Freeman.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you want to come play football for the Lord, dude?
Yeah.
Kneel down, stand up, sit uncomfortably on these wooden pews, go ahead and take a knee, stand up. Shut up, take a knee.
Touchdown.
Stand up, sit down.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Stand up, sit down, kneel. Stand up, sit down. Stand. Sit down, kneel. Kneel. Stand. Pray. Oh, we're done. No, we're doing that 4 more times.
Yeah.
Go to communion.
Go
Baseline.
down there. Come back. Hit a knee. We're in the second quarter. We're back up. Why is all that? That just became tradition, I guess, though. How come? Is that the original?
They've changed it a bit.
Yeah, it used to be in Latin, too.
Like there will be times like if I go to mass.
You're
on,
Catholic,
like,
right?
Yeah. If I go to like mass on Christmas or something, you'll catch yourself doing something like when I was in high school and grade school, like a communal prayer that you'll say, and it is not the words anymore. And you look like an asshole.
Oh,
It's
they
like,
remix
we got a
it.
closet Catholic over here. This guy only comes
this guy's Christmas, Easter.
Yeah, right.
This son of a bitch.
It changed one of the only things I know. It was peace be with you.
And also with you.
It's not that anymore, is it?
And with your spirit.
yeah.
What's that all about? Why, you
See,
guys didn't like us all saying that?
Well, I don't know. I think, certain people who have been going to mass for a long time too. I ain't fucking saying that.
Well, yeah. It's
Peace
fine.
be with you. Peace be with you.
And also with you.
And also,
Yeah,
I started
exactly.
saying it with everything, by the way. Somebody would say something to me completely off, and also with you.
also with you.
And I actually felt a little bit like, maybe the Lord heard that. You know, maybe the Lord heard me, quoting his lyrics.
Probably did.
And I thought maybe at the end of the day, there's no way I'm going and dedicating 4 hours of kneeling, standing, and sitting down to this guy, or woman, whatever. I'm excited to see who's right, by the way, at the end of this whole thing.
Maybe nobody.
But I don't know if I could do that. My dad, Catholic, Central Catholic, he did the whole thing. I don't know how. I have no idea how. I think I've tried it a couple times. And I think the also with you is the only thing that I really was like,
It's my favorite part.
that's cool because we're all talking to each other. Because every other time we're not even allowed to look at each other.
No.
We got to, and I had, what's that thing? Osgood
Osgood
Slaughter.
Slaughters, yeah.
I had Osgood Slaughter on my knees, both of them. And then obviously arthritis on my knees for everything as I was growing up. And they're like down on this wooden thing. I'm like, this God hates me.
Yeah.
This particular God is just we used to Discovery Zone. You remember Discovery Zone?
DZ? Yeah,
DZ?
Bill Cowher was always hanging out there.
It was all those tubes, those plastic tubes. I could not go. I could not go through
Go
it.
Because it just
DZ.
tear you up. Couldn't get all the way
Knees
through
hurt
it.
too bad.
No
Everybody
wonder
would
you
go.
hated your childhood.
Yeah, my knees hurt too bad. I couldn't go through DZ. I could only hit the net and the ball pit. You know what I mean? But I crushed that. I
That
climb
was
up the net and then I get up on top of some of those things into the ball pit, which would eventually help me in war games.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I went back.
games.
But yeah, I couldn't crawl through any tubes or anything because my knees were so.
DZ was the best.
Yeah, those places were awesome.
Yeah, they had a good run. We were also talking yesterday about the under 18 nightclubs that we
Those are crazy.
I don't know if you
We had them in Boston. There's a few.
actual, right?
Yeah.
You go in there, it's an actual club.
Oh, yeah. But it's just.
Boxes and everything, right? Night, you're going there like 9, 10 at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, we were talking about that. There used to be a bunch of them in Pittsburgh, like 3, 4 of them during my year. I started going when I was like 12 or 13 with my brother and his friends.
Jets?
And then I kind of went through a Jets, Quake,
Club Zoo.
Club Zoo. Yeah, there was a couple of them. We were talking about it yesterday. Phil and I, as we were driving back to the high school or whatever, and we were reminiscing about, you remember when? Because we had a friend who thought he was a fucking pool shark at this point. I went with him one time. We were like 15, 14 years old, and he thought he was a pool shark. So he insisted that we were posted up on like the second floor where there was a billiards table or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm just going to sit here, I guess. So I started walking and moseying around through these things. And I started like recanting what it was like walking through those things all by myself. They were actual nightclubs just for kids. You go to the bar and order like a Sprite. I remember thinking like I had an actual connection with the bartender who was like a 19-year-old. Like I give like away like a Sprite's coming over. I'm like 13 years old. How the fuck did those exist? And who was working at those things?
That's right.
Who was working at
And
those?
why were we allowed to go to them?
Yeah, why was I just getting dropped off at this thing as a 13-year-old and just kind of moseying through this? Well, obviously, I had to lie and say I was 14. I think you had to be 14. And there's probably people lying saying they were younger
Oh, yeah.
getting into that thing, too. I mean, what a fucking melting pot of never could happen in 2021 those things were.
No way.
The people working there,
Never.
Yeah.
it's kind of like Notre Dame. They feed from the the Jesuit high schools, the people who are bartending and working at these 18-plus clubs, they're the feeder system to the real clubs, like the Howl at the Moons. They'll go down to those 18, under clubs, and they'll say, hey.
Oh, that's minor league ball down.
Exactly. Double A, triple A, G League, and the NBA.
I don't know about where we come from, though. I feel like our teenagers, that might have been much more to do. I mean, there was absolute brawls.
Oh, I was going to say, that's what it's set up for.
Every night afterwards in the parking lot. It was like, all right, which group of people is just going to get fucking bullied tonight? And normally you could tell who it was going to be. And you walk out there and it was just like parents in a line to pick people up like it's a school. And then you got some kids who drove because they were like 16 or 17. By the way, why are you coming to this? It was very weird. But they were like parking there. And then there would just be this mix of like high school dance, club, house party.
Yeah, getting bombed.
Fight club.
With people from every different rival area, basically.
Yeah.
That's why.
It was I don't know. Once again, I don't know how these happened, but Phil and I started chatting about them while we were driving back. I completely forgot about that era of anything because I think I was literally just practicing soccer, traveling for soccer, and going to those nightclubs. And it was like, I've actually kind of been clubbing since I'm like 13 years old, probably why I got sick of it by the time I was forced to be. And when I was 22, it's like, I didn't even think. Pittsburgh's wild. It's nice to hear Boston had those as well. Because Foxy was like, what? No.
Yeah, nothing under 18. That's really weird to me.
No, it was electric, dude. You just get bombed and then walk into these clubs and just have a great time.
Yeah, so like when you're 13,
Yeah.
14, go to these things, you don't think about that. But then like the 16, 17, 15-year-olds, they're like getting intoxicated.
Just getting ripped up and going to this club and acting like
All
you're
hopped
20.
up on Mountain Dew and cigarettes and a
Surge.
water bottle full of vodka.
Yeah.
Hey, Serge will get you too in there.
Surge.
I just read the business model on that. It's to get kids out of malls and movies. Basically.
Well, they didn't do that because we're also in there. I mean, we're all,
But it was
we
like
weren't a big
thin it
movie
out.
crowd though. We weren't. I don't think so. Did you ever? I didn't go through a stage of going to the movies. I guess people get a ticket to one movie and then they would just be there for like 6 hours.
movie
Oh,
hut.
yeah.
you
No,
watch
we
like
only
that.
went,
double
the only
dip.
one we ever went to see was
Bring some doobies.
Wedding Crashers.
Bingo. Yeah, it was worth it.
Times.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We were mall and underage nightclub guys, which makes sense where we're at now.
Hell yeah.
I assume movie theater bouncers are people that are probably good people, but we're never friends with.
Oh, I did that a lot of times growing up.
See, there it is.
A lot of times.
So maybe I am friends with movie theater
Yeah.
jumpers.
Going, maybe.
But you were also accepted at Harvard. You're the only human I've ever encountered on
take a few
dating.
vitamins beforehand. You know,
you gotta smoke the dope gunner.
Pay
Oh,
$8, and boom, nice little Saturday. See 3 movies.
You
All right,
bring
let's get-
B-dubs in too.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, KFC used to do that a lot.
Zito, you did it as well?
Yeah.
So I got 2 friends that did that.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Our mall stunk though. It started going downhill once. You know,
we had a pretty good mall.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty good. Not anymore, but
Our mall's terrible now, yeah. I
I
guess
think I've been to the one that you guys used to go to.
It's a good one. Hell yeah.
It was a nice mall.
it's a big mall. But it's trashy enough you can have fun.
Nice.
Like this one here in Indianapolis, too nice. Like there's one up. It's like the showcase mall for Simon malls because the Simon family's from here. Simon Mall, also the one I think back in Pittsburgh or whatever. It's like their showcase mall. It's so nice. I don't know how you do any ratchet stuff with your friends. In there.
Yeah, no, there's an arts garden in the
It's
goddamn
so
thing.
nice. But there's also There's another mall to do your
Yeah,
shit.
right. The one down here had good charm when it was still kicking.
Omicron.
Omicron.
They got a movie theater up there too.
Yeah, that thing is
Dead.
going to be closing soon.
We're back in 4 minutes. Some phone calls on this Feel Good Friday. We wish it wouldn't.
Yeah,
We're just telling you about reality.
That's right.
Seen many movies there. It's a real bummer.
We're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line here on this Feel Good Friday, December 3rd, 2021. I'm on a plane to San Antonio after the show.
San Antonio.
Going down San Antonio. All right, back in 4 minutes. Cheers. It's called Gold Bonds for this thing here. You know what I
Wait,
mean?
what's it for? Is it like a sand wedge?
Anything close to the green. It's like a 60.
Yeah.
I think it's like 60.
Little rescue club.
Yeah.
I used it one time on a course. I duffed it 4 times, and I said that one's going to the studio. That one's never seen a course.
is that the one you gotta just use the same stroke as a putter?
No, that's the chipper. The little double
Oh, that
size.
little thing that you use in the fringe area?
Yeah. If I ever get into pro golf, which is
They're
probably going to
legal.
happen after this whole thing, that one's going to be one of the spots in my bag.
Yeah.
That
They say
little
use
chip.
the 9.
They're illegal, though.
What?
I think those little chipper deals are illegal.
Bullshit.
You can use
It's
the
all right. You
9
won't
on
ever
it.
get close enough.
I will. Wait until you hear what we're up to, and then
I mean, I don't care. You could put 9 golf simulators in the Coliseum. It's not going to make you a pro golfer.
It's not a Coliseum, by the way. It's a fucking igloo.
Get
Right?
it right,
You
AJ.
asswipe.
We've already talked about it.
Wake up.
You guys all at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's a branding thing, you know?
How many times do you have to
I
tell
tell you
you
what,
the
it
same
is
thing?
mesmerizing just watching you do this.
It's
on the
crazy.
monitor. It really
How about you
is.
get some air under that thing? That's nothing. You have like 3 inches of pipe.
I mean,
You piece of shit.
How dare you?
How about you
scumbag,
have some
dude.
awareness?
Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
for every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comment section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd
3
be
minutes.
3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth. Oh.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're gonna puke?
Oh, I do.
And that milk looks ice cold too.
No!
Beer that broke my heart. Hey, one more. Yep. Now we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not great. Oh, God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Oh, God, God. Yikes. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on this Feel Good Friday, December 3rd. I am receiving videos of Jerry Jones wandering around Bourbon Street. Last night, right before the game, he said, what you're seeing is about 80% of me. 20% of me was left on Bourbon Street. I can promise you there are Cowboys fans here. He was walking around drinking Hurricanes down there. Holy shit. And everybody in Cowboys fans like, that's not Jerry. Is that Jerry? Jerry gives him a, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, Jerry, let me buy you. Jerry's just walking down the middle of Bourbon Street. This is incredible. In a suit, doing his thing. Some security, some cops, probably the same cops that came in and broke up the pseudo wrestling matches that were happening at 1:30, 2 a.m. On Bourbon Street when WrestleMania was down there. Bourbon Street is an electric factory. Everybody seems to be on the same page. Everybody knows what's the deal. I've only been down there for events and celebrations, so I guess that's kind of how everybody is. But there's like weekend people just go down to Bourbon Street. I don't know what it's like then, but when we were down there for WrestleMania or we were down there for the Super Bowl, it was just... Everybody knows the deal. Then late night, you get those bikes and you just kind of go back to your hotel. Hope you can hydrate enough to keep up with the humidity and the incredibly good times and the massive amounts of alcohol that you're chugging down. Go over to that casino, win some money, and then do it again. It is. I'm happy that Jerry's kind of a regular ass human.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact that he's. Hey, we should beat the shit out of this team tonight. Give me 40. Here we go in shot skis around here. My kid's been telling me about Juszczyk. It's just fucking. I love Jerry Jones doing that.
Yeah, that is awesome. And like you said, Bourbon Street. I mean, if you've been to New Orleans, like it's just impossible not to, especially like going like we did for WrestleMania, where it is like somehow the most positive atmosphere ever. Like you don't have to worry about fights. People are just like fake wrestling everywhere. It's fucking incredible.
It was nice. So we're walking down the street, and all the clubs were playing music intros.
Yeah.
So like
wrestlers intros.
I think Shinsuke. He might have debuted the next day. Actually, I think he debuted the violin, the whole thing. The next, I don't know. Whatever. I think they played it. But Vince McMahon, you've got no chance. The whole city of New Orleans was singing it basically down there. And then when the glass broke, and then I mean, all of them were just playing, and it was an incredible atmosphere. And then it only took a little bit. You know, this guy was double champ. He had 2 belts.
Wow.
Sorry, 2 titles. Obviously, belts hold up your pants.
That's right.
He had 2 titles like this. And then somebody else had a title, you know? And this particular one was dressed up like Hulk. That particular double champ was dressed up like The Rock. And they happened to each other right there in the middle of Bourbon Street. And everybody immediately knew what was going on. All of a sudden, there's 3 titles on the line.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, there's 3 titles. A big circle is created around.
Guys running ropes.
They threw Rock. Hey, Rock threw Hulk Hogan into the ropes.
Yeah.
Rock went lumbering in the ropes, and then a big right was thrown. Boom! Hulk on his back. Cops. 2 cops come flying in up. Boom! 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 Grab Hulk Hogan. Grab The Rock. And everybody's like, oh, boo! So the cops are interference now, right? So the fans are booing the cops now. And then the Hulk, I believe, continued to sell.
Oh, yeah.
Hulk continued to sell with the whole thing. I mean, it was just... That's the difference, I guess, between Bourbon Street and South Side of Pittsburgh.
Wrestling fans don't get enough credit. They are so cool.
Yeah.
Going to those shows is awesome.
They're maniacs, dude. It is incredible.
And they're all on the same team, which is awesome.
Yeah, except for, some asshole comes out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Unless I like that.
There's always that one.
But I mean, once again, with wrestling fans, when I did the NXT run, they had like 20 fans there, and they had to be all socially distant. They had masks on, and there was like plexiglass, like hockey things.
Not the same.
I mean, I literally walked up to an 8-year-old and told him he stunk at life. You know, like you're allowed to do, and that kid, you stink at life. And then his dad hits the thing, I hate you. I was like, you suck, dude. This kid's embarrassed that he's your son. Like right to this, and then boo! And then the next group of people that was down there, what a failure you are. And then boom, the next one, then boom, the next one. And then on the way out, it's like, fuck off, basically. You know, and I walk out of there. Wrestling's the only world you can do that.
Yeah.
And the fans are like with it, you know? Tough skin, I think, in the wrestling community.
Yeah.
Have to.
Which is good, which is awesome. I think there should be more of that.
The only other place you can do that is if you're Bill Burr and you're on this show and you're saying fuck off to the Colts fans.
It's beginning to look a lot like 2001.
Hell yeah.
Who is this Mac Jones? And we got Billy fucking B. Coach of the fucking D. And all the Colts fans are gonna cry. All right, go fuck yourself. What a moment.
Yeah.
He was on James Corden last night. 2 guests. On the couch. James has 2 guests on the couch, or 3 guests on the couch. This was Bill's first appearance in there. Watching him analyze him sitting in between a conversation, and James had a card, too, that had questions on it, that he was doing a lot of this. And as soon as Bill sits down, the card is near his face. You see Bill watching the card, and then like, all right, let me kind of settle in here. He hit a couple dingers. But I would like to hear his... side of being on that show. I mean, James is an incredibly talented individual, but the interviewing style of 2 people, 3 people, I guess that's a European style. I've seen some European late night shows that do that, so I think he kind of took it over there. I don't think I'd ever be able to juggle it, and I don't know how it would go. It's just...
Because it's more relaxed? Is that why they do it? Or?
Is it? I don't know. Is it? Because everybody's trying to get their shit in. You know, normally everybody's trying to get their shit in, so you don't really get into a flow. But I guess everything's like 4
Graham
minutes.
Norton's like that. He always has like 5 people on his side.
Yeah.
And Graham's a stud, though. Like I think James also does a good job. But Bill's first experience are sitting on a couch next to a guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
He was good. He was very funny as well. Like I was watching to watch him go through that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of Burr fans do. So it was fun to kind of watch him go through our show, even though he was fucking asshole to Colts fans. All right, we're back next hour. Cheers. All right, well, hey, Bill, we appreciate the hell out of your time, man. This was one of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. I appreciate this.
All right. Well, I don't understand why it took you so long to get me on this show. I'm a huge fan of yours. I think you're hilarious. So don't be a stranger.
I don't know if you mean that or not. But
no, I do. And by the way, you know what I've been singing about the Patriots season so far?
Huh.
It's beginning to look a lot like 2001.
All right, well,
Who is this Mac Jones? And we got Billy fucking B working on our fucking D, and all the Colts fans are gonna cry. Go fuck yourselves, everybody. I'll see you in Indianapolis.
yeah, I can't wait to see you.
Another week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Burr, thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man. I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There was a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm here. Oh, my life, Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm
clock. We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let... I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man. But on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on, you don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show on this beautiful, feel-good Friday, December 3rd, 2021. This sports show on YouTube, Hour 2, begins now.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough for watching at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. All the boys are here. The Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. You guys look fantastic.
Hey, thank you, Pat. You look fantastic as well.
Yeah, hey, I didn't get a chance to enjoy the trip back to Pittsburgh with you guys. You guys would have loved it. We'll have to do that sometime soon.
Oh, yeah.
I love Pittsburgh. What's not to love about Pittsburgh?
Well, the weather was tough.
Yeah, but I'm from Iowa. I'm used to that.
It was so perfect when we landed.
The seasickness of driving in those hills are crazy.
I love the sea.
Is it? Well, you're not actually on the sea. It's the driving. It's the land seasickness. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay, but the rivers.
But aside from that, the people awesome. Enjoy the people. A couple great spectacular views of steel mills last night. We flew in over top of one.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. We did not stop by the casino. We did not have time. It was quick in and out, but it was a fun trip. Sorry you guys didn't come. We'll have to make that happen soon. A lot of people asked about you guys.
Really?
Yeah, there's some people that actually said, like, is the Toxic Table that despicable in real life?
Yeah.
You're goddamn right.
People said that. Like, numerous people said that.
What did you tell them?
Yeah.
I
What was
said-
that? We ain't no fugazi.
I said they're actually much worse off air.
That's bullshit.
Well, I didn't hear that. I was not in.
jeez, Tom.
I just want to let you know, I was not in that. That was a side conversation that the Cowboy was having with somebody else.
Okay.
I will let you know that my only thing was like, yeah, well, they ain't no fugazi. What you see is what you get. Classic. One of those.
I appreciate that.
Thought so.
Yeah, you are what you are.
You are what you are, and you ain't what you ain't.
Exactly.
That's right.
And you are until you're not it anymore.
Yeah, Eminem said something like that.
I am whatever
Right.
you say I am.
Exactly.
Because if I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. That's great rhyme, by the way.
I don't know.
I mean, those used to be
Just the way you are.
Just the way I am.
until you ain't.
Uh-huh.
And we ain't cold anymore in the Super Boost because last night on a flight back from Pittsburgh to Indianapolis, Tone Diggs and I got to watch about a quarter and a half together. We're home by the third quarter to watch a Thursday night football game that's going to project us into a place right before the holidays that we have never been before.
Yeah.
Tone Diggs' Heater Horse Super Boost. Cowboys -2.5, which seemed like a gimme.
Yeah.
But hey, there were some sweaty moments last night. How about when Harris got loose there late, Taysom Hill?
Dangerous.
And then they had a completion later that Taysom Hill had to put it on a spot, put it on a high. It's like, whoa.
Calm down.
There's also
Anyways, we covered. No big deal. Congrats to Tone Diggs. We appreciate you.
there's also like 3 or 4 third downs in a row in the end of the third, fourth quarter that was like 3rd and 4 and they didn't get one of them, which was also a little sweaty there. But the defense, the boys' defense stepped up.
Yeah, they did. Dan Quinn with the backwards hat had the boys show up. That game ends with the Cowboys winning by 10. They were up 17 until a long play popped off late. But it was not a game where you thought to yourself, well, the Cowboys been dominant. You don't not thinking that at all, especially with what the Saints had going on injury-wise on the offensive side of the ball, but I also don't think maybe we're giving enough respect to the Saints defense.
Yeah.
I think the Saints defense is very good.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that we were labeling this a handout that was super boosted from minus 230, which means you make $0 on that bet. That is strictly a bet you're using to add to parlays to add a little bit of more juice so you can make a little bit more bang for your buck. Minus 230 to plus 100. So that is the Saints were a massive underdog last night, just in everybody's eyes, including the sports books, who seem to have a better idea I don't think we gave enough credit to the defense because that is one half of the game. Well, sorry, 1/3 of the game, but especially with the way them boys were punting last night.
That's right.
Now, kickers, let's tighten it up a little bit. Punters were doing their thing last night. But that Saints defense, very good. Last year, there was a time where we actually thought, okay, maybe the Saints can go because of how good the damn defense is. And you have to have a great defense if you're going to win a Super Bowl. And maybe that is why the Cowboys didn't look as great. There was some poor clock management. There were some bad decisions being made. But their head coach wasn't able to hit watermelon.
No,
Come on.
right.
Omicron. So I think both teams are happy to get out of there. The Cowboys are obviously happy to get a win. The Saints probably praying that everybody gets back, mostly Kamara. So that's my big takeaway, and we won a bunch of money. That's great news.
Yeah, the Saints their defense is really good, but like offensively, they're so banged up.
Terrible.
Like you knew that, and I think this is the first time they've lost 5 or 6 games in a row in the last however many years. Like that. You're just not used to seeing the Saints in this position, but obviously, like when you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't.
Whoa!
Doesn't
Taysom
matter.
Hill might be a quarterback.
Doesn't
Remember, the
matter
contract
how
says
good
$10
the
million,
defense.
maybe $40 million.
Yeah,
That's right.
Hey, this guy's maybe gadget guy. This guy's maybe the franchise guy.
But you mentioned it earlier too. It makes no sense that they would start him last night and just what have they been doing the last 4 weeks? Like it just makes no sense whatsoever.
Why not have him start?
They were still on the edge of making the playoffs, and now it's to the point where it's like, okay, well, are they going to stay with him? Like they could. I don't know. It makes no sense.
Yeah, because I think you could have seen a little bit more out of Taysom, especially if he and Kamara could have got a little bit. But instead, you had Simeon in instead of Taysom, and there was no real Taysom-like plays except for maybe one big hit. I think I'm not 100% sure. So it feels like they're losing out on both.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not that Sean Payton's a great coach. Incredible shoe game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great coach, incredible shoe game. A lot of respect for that. But I just feel like the Taysom Hill thing has been kind of bobbled in our eyes from outside looking in, from the contracts to the offseason where he's only training to be a quarterback to this guy might stink at quarterback to, we don't even have to Taysom gadget stuff. Oh, now we have him at quarterback. He's rushing for 100 yards, jumping over people, making a couple plays. What if he would have been playing from there's just so many questions now that hindsight can only offer us. And I assume a lot on the defensive side, when they lay their head down at night, are asking the same question because I think they have a defense that's good enough to potentially do some shit.
It's very confusing because the chance that Trevor Simeon is your quarterback next season is 0% for the Saints.
Simeon family is not going to be zero.
He might not even be on that football team.
Whoa!
Taysom Hill is going to be on that football team, and there is at least a percentage of a chance that he's going to be the starting quarterback, maybe going forward, because you called him Steve Young. And I believe if you were to ask opposing defenses, they'd probably rather play Trevor Simeon than Taysom Hill. So, the whole last 3-4 games has been very confusing.
He's through 5 picks. We all know that.
Yeah.
But this is also, 3 of them were in the fourth quarter. There was an insane catch on the sideline. There was another. I don't want to make excuses for Taysom. I'm not dying on a hill that Taysom Hill is a fucking guy. No. He's a guy in football.
Right.
I'm talking about in the quarterback position. I'm not dying on that hill. But just watching and then kind of reanalyzing, and we have the incredible delight of hindsight to look back on everything that nobody else has in the moment when they're making their decisions. But I wonder if Sean Payton in the offseason will go, well, it doesn't matter because I'm getting a fucking great quarterback anyways. Taysom Hill's going to the gadget guy. Let's just fucking chill out anyways.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the market for a quarterback is what everybody is saying, even though they're $70 million over the current projected cap. It's an insane situation. Congrats to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys win.
We have to jump to a conversation that we were able to have the other day. We were going to run it. Then we just
had a lot of guests.
a lot has been happening. We had guests. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a long putt.
It was.
We had the long putt. We got a chance to chat with a legend, obviously all-pro Pro Bowler, Kyle Juszczyk, the Juice, earlier this week. And wait till you hear how this thing just started. He only had time in the off time of our show. And since he's been on the show before, we like him. We're like, all right, we'll do it for you for sure, Kyle. Because, California time, a little bit different than our time, or whatever, especially with all football. And listen to how this whole thing starts. But it gets into a great conversation. We'll see you on the other side of it.
You know where he's from, right, Pat?
the great state.
OH.
Oh, I-O, buddy.
Come on.
Yeah,
Fuck this guy.
This is bullshit.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. We are so thankful that you're here. What you heard there as we came in from break is AJ getting accustomed to the person that'll be joining us here in 1 second. This man, I guess, is from the state of Ohio. He's an all-pro fullback for the San Francisco 49ers. A couple weeks ago, he was just pancaking everybody. This past week, he tried to jump over 7 guys. Ladies and gentlemen, freak athlete, Juszczyk.
What's up, guys? I had a feeling that the epic leap of last week was going to come up at some point in this interview.
Was that paused in film yet? Have we done that? Has Shanahan done the old circle on that thing? And is that something he does in team meetings?
Luckily, Kyle didn't point it out, but I definitely heard about it from my running back coach, Bobby Turner. And let me just clear the air. I didn't think I was going to clear everybody.
Oh, okay.
It's just when I turned up field and there's legit 6 defenders closing on me, I thought maybe I could take a hit off myself if I just jumped in the air instead of taking shots from 6 different directions. So that's where my mind was at.
So you're playing smart football. Let them all hit my legs. You know what I mean? And then instead of the body or whatever, I'll survive to live and see another day. Speaking of see another day, Zito has to clear something up with the screen. Back in action with us, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Juszczyk, a little bit clearer. That's on us on our end. We apologize. It's great to have you here. Let's talk about a couple weeks ago, wherever you were in motion, just pancaking people who spotlighted. It was on national TV. But let's talk about the Niners as a whole. You guys are hot, man. There seemed to be a little bit of a time where people were questioning a lot that was going on in that building. You guys have found something special. What has it been, you think, from behind closed doors?
Yeah, the boys over here, we're rolling, man. And we feel like it's because we got back to who we are. We got back to our brand of football. And quite simply, it's running the ball and it's playing solid defense and getting turnovers. And Kyle went into our game 3 weeks ago against LA, and the night before he spoke about our goal was to get 40 runs in that game. And what you guys know in today's NFL, that's just an insane amount of runs. It's just, you don't see it week to week. You don't see it around the league. And even himself, he kind of questioned himself when he threw out the number 40. Usually 30 is going to get you a win. But he was feeling himself. He was feeling excited. He went with 40. And we ended up getting 44 runs in that game and knocked off a really good LA Rams team. But I also got to throw out there that you don't get that amount of runs without converting on third downs and being efficient in an offense. And so it hasn't just been our run game. It's also been Jimmy playing very efficiently and converting and getting first downs. So it all plays into one another, but we just feel like we're back to our brand of football.
A huge part of that run game is obviously you and George Kittle. Both you guys seems like you never lose when you're in run blocking. You're always coming back across the ball, cutting down D ends, trying to get the edge. Like, are you like a new version of what the old school fullback would have been? I know when you came in the league, you played with Vonta Leach, right? For a little bit.
Yeah, that was my mentor coming into the league.
Big head, big scary guy that was an absolute bulldozer. Like you can do it all. It seems like at the fullback position.
Yeah, I've been fortunate that in college I was a tight end, I was an H-back, but to be honest, I was kind of a glorified slot receiver. Like I was in the slot like 80% of the time, and then I had to adapt. I'm not 6'3", so I wasn't going to be drafted as a tight end. I needed to learn how to play fullback. And luckily enough, my first year I had Vonta Leach as my mentor, and he kind of brought that part of my game around, that physicality, that being able to lead up in the hole and to be physical, take on linebackers head to head. And so I feel like I kind of mixed, like my athletic side with the more physical brand of football, especially playing in a city like Baltimore, who's just known for being a physical team in general. And over the years, I've been able to just kind of mesh the two things together and kind of feel like I'm playing my best ball now at 30 years old.
And you said Shanahan said if we run the ball 40 times or he wanted to run 40 times, and then I'm thinking back to that game, you guys just handled them. I mean, you guys knew going into the game, I guess, that was going to happen. And is that what you mean when you say get back to our brand of football? Like, you guys know you can be dominant running the ball. It's not too long ago in the NFC Championship game, you ran for 182 yards before contact against the Green Bay Packers. And last season, all hell breaks loose. This year, you guys feel like you're back, huh? All the way back to what you were that one year a couple years ago?
I mean, that was the plan, and that's what we wanted to do going into the game. It doesn't always work out how you plan, obviously. You can go in and we're going to call 40 runs, and you call 2 run plays on 1st and 2nd down, and you're looking at 3rd and 8, and you don't convert, and you're punting. Like that can happen too. But the offensive line has just done such a good job of moving defensive players, and then you see Elijah Mitchell has just been a spark for us, as well as Deebo Samuel in the run game. And these guys do such a good job of yards after contact, where maybe a run play is blocked for 2 yards, but they're coming out of it with 6. And Kyle talks about it all the time. Calling a 2nd and 4 play versus a 2nd and 8 play can be such a huge difference as a play caller, and really puts the strain on a defense.
Hey, what's Kyle Shanahan like? We see him on the sidelines, flat bill, nice little manicured, a little half beard he has. He always looks good, looks under control. Is he truly like this offensive genius guru guy that just lives to try to draw up plays that can beat different coverages?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like what he portrays is really kind of who Kyle is. He really is. He's a cool guy, very down to earth, can relate with the players very well. But definitely, he's a guru, man. He's a genius. He's a wizard. Whatever word you want to put on it, he can see. He can see how a defense is going to react and anticipate it, and be ready for it, and draw up plays that will take advantage of things that they're doing before they've even shown it on tape.
He's a wizard, yeah.
He has such a good, and I think the biggest thing, he has an understanding of defense, and that's sometimes that's the you don't think of that about that. As an offensive coordinator, you think, offense, right? Let me, scheme up all these crazy looking plays and all that. But it really comes down to understanding what the defense is doing and understanding what their roles are and being able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, attacking like classic coverages, right? Like, we have to run this because their rules tell them that if we do this, they have to do this. Bang, that opens up this. It's actual chess in what Kyle Shanahan's doing. It's thinking for the other person.
Exactly. When you know what the other person's rules are, that's when you can really turn it on their head and use it against them.
Let's talk about Jimmy G. You talked about him being incredibly efficient, and I saw him make some plays this past weekend. I only got to see the highlights. It wasn't on a full TV. He made some throws that were just unbelievable, and it reminded us of the Jimmy G run when you guys went to the Super Bowl, and obviously he has that one miss, then leads to a full conversation, then Trey Lance gets drafted in 3 overall. They trade away, but the entire mission in the statement from Lynch and Shanahan was, when Jimmy's healthy, he's our quarterback. What has happened when he gets hurt is we stink. We have a plan for Jimmy G and everything like that. Jimmy's played great. You guys have started to win. Is there any sort of behind the scenes awkwardness? Because it feels like Jimmy has handled this thing perfectly.
I can genuinely say that there really hasn't been any awkwardness. And we all understand how there could be. It's no secret that we traded 3 first-round draft picks to get Trey Lance. We all hear the noise about what's been said about Jimmy and all those kind of things. So it's not like we're blind to it or anything. We all know what's going on. But he really has handled it so well. And I feel like us drafting Trey has been one of the better things for him. It definitely has pushed him. It's made him, focus just a little bit more. And he's been a better player since Trey has been here. So I think he's just handled it so well and taken it on in the right way, because he knows, regardless of what happens in the future, if he doesn't play well right now, that's not going to bode well for him, whether it's here again next year or anywhere else. So at the end of the day, you just got to play well, and he's done a good job of taking that on.
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, you mentioned Deebo Samuel playing running back. How did that happen? Because he's been killing it at wide receiver. He has over 1,000 yards, I believe. Did he in practice one time, just have to fill in, or how did that come about?
You know what? For years now, we hand him the ball once or twice a game, and it's usually been on some sort of reverse or end around or anything like that. But we're like, okay, teams are going to start catching on anytime Debo's getting the ball. He's running outside. So I think it was LA was one of the first times that we gave him the ball inside on just a pure power play, which I don't think you'll find any other receivers doing that. But you look at the build of Debo, and you wouldn't think he's a receiver anyways. He looks like Marshawn Lynch out there.
And his name is Debo. Yeah.
And his name is Debo. And he ran it so naturally and so efficiently and just smoothly that I don't think Kyle's had really much of a choice. We got to give the guy the ball. He's averaging almost, I think, 10 a clip, So the more he's gotten it, just the better he's gotten. And so we just feel like it's another tool in our toolbox here, and we have to take advantage of it.
Cordero Patterson having an incredible year as running back, too, as a former wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to watch both those guys crush it. Go ahead, Ty.
Kyle, you kind of touched on it, but what's it like being teammates with George Kittle? Like, you see, like, his personality and everything. He is awesome. Go Hawks, by the way. But, like, it's very obvious, like, how much, I don't want to say better, but, like, you guys just go when you and him are both on the field at the same time.
Man, it's awesome. George is, I've been teammates with him now for 5 years, and he's become a really, really close friend of mine. But one of the cool things about him is, a couple years ago, he set the all-time receiving record for tight ends. And you don't expect a guy like that who's had, the glory of catching the football and doing all the fun stuff to be so into the run game and so wanting to block and wanting to be physical. And it trickles down to all the other guys. Because now, go out there, if you pull up our tape, you'll see Brandon Ayuk, Debo, Samuels, Juwan Jennings. Our receivers are getting after it in the run game. It's from snap to whistle, being physical, going after guys, head hunting. And I think that's a trickle down from guys like George, and seeing that, you can go out there, be successful in the pass game, score a lot of touchdowns, get all the fame, do that kind of stuff. But it's still cool to go out there and block too, because winning really surpasses all that stuff.
Yeah, when you win, there's enough to go around. You guys really like each other in that locker room, huh?
Yeah, man, that's one of the cool things. I feel like we have a really tight bond around here, really cool locker room.
That's a big deal. Yeah. Hey, that's one of the biggest deals, especially going into December football.
That's right. Hey, Kyle, I got a quick last one from me, Kyle. Is Joe Montana ever floating around the facility, and is there any way you could get any confirmation that he stopped an intruder by throwing his one of his Super Bowl balls at the intruder and catching his grandkid after he slid down the banister?
No confirmation there. I think I might have seen him once or twice here in the years that I've been here, but we don't see him too much.
If you could ask him about that, we'd be very thankful.
Yeah, I'll make sure to ask for you guys.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. It's very nice. Make sure you word it in the proper fashion so he knows we're not being condescending.
Yeah, he was a hero.
We're making him a hero. Go ahead, Diggs.
Mr. Juice, a lot of talk around here about how versatile Debo is, but so are you. So now, if he is to miss some time because of a groin issue or whatever, are you just going to slide directly into his role and maybe just take the carries and touches that he was getting? Are you going to go up?
I've definitely had some conversations with Kyle for just that case. I don't know if he's going to take me up on the offer, because I offered to take his Debo spot if he wants me to.
Very nice.
But we'll find out tomorrow and install how much of that I really get.
Yeah, tell us what the game plan is going into this weekend.
I'll make sure I'll take some screenshots and I'll send them over tomorrow.
Just tweet them, man. We'll see it. We put them out there on the internet. Zito just dropped in my ear a nice little nugget. Congratulations are in order. We're a little bit late, but better late than never. First ever Harvard grad to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Wow! Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully not the last, but yeah, thank you.
Do all your super smart Harvard friends just come up with ideas for you to angel invest money into all the time? Is that what happens with you?
I got some voices in my ear, and I listen to some of them. But I've got some good people to lean back on for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just assumed, I went to, Griff Whalen was on our team, and he was in the class that Snapchat was created in as a school project. And I'm like, if you sit in a different side of the fucking room, that fake that happened against the Patriots never, ever happened.
No.
Never, ever happened. That happens at Harvard. That type of stuff happens at Stanford. I don't think that was happening in West Virginia. I wouldn't have known. I wasn't there, but that is something. Is there anybody you graduated alongside that is like any future presidents, you think, or anything like that out of Harvard? I just assume it's an insane cast of characters.
I mean, we'll find out. I'm sure there's somebody in our class, but I mean, my whole friend group is just full of investment bankers, consultants, venture capitalists, all that. It's just a lot of successful guys around me.
Just so much money being tossed around to each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. We can't thank you enough for joining us, Kyle, in the middle of a busy week. Good luck this weekend. Congrats on all the success. It seems like you guys have figured it out again over there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
Remember, Montana, Ball, Beak, Baby, Bannister. Ladies and
got
gentlemen,
you.
Kyle Juszczyk. Thank you, Thank you, Kyle. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's the man.
He got a new deal, this past offseason, I think? It was shortly after we talked to him because he was a free agent. He was like, we'll see where I end up, And it was like maybe Baltimore, maybe there. San Fran keeps him home, AJ. That's a big deal.
I think Kyle Shanahan absolutely loves having him in the lineup. He's huge. He and Kittle both, man. They are a force when they're together.
They're out trying to outdo each other. This is like you and Kuhn in practice,
Yep.
We're trying to outdo each other. It feels like that is a Juice and Kittle thing because Kittle gets so much credit for his blocking, and Juice is this undersized fullback that if you see, by the way, Kittle should. That's not a knock, but I assume Juice takes a lot of pride in that as well. When he's in motion, I mean, I don't want to say it's easy to know where the ball is normally going wherever the fuck Juszczyk is headed. Literally, it's headed wherever he's going. Now, there is some misdirection, some, rule breakers and things like that, but he is a massive part of that entire thing. It is awesome to watch from like the sky cam angle almost.
He's tough when he does like that motion when you go like behind or just the ball is snapping. He goes behind the center and you're thinking, okay, it's like a split zone. They're going to run the ball maybe that way. He could flash that D end like he's going to block him and then sneak out to the flat and boom, it's a pass play. Like that's the stuff that makes that when you're on defense, it makes it tough and you can't just sit there and play all the way, run or pass. You never really know.
How about a Harvard brain embracing the fullback, by the way?
Yeah, mentality.
That's awesome. Good for him. I assume all those investment bankers, by the way. Oh my God.
Yeah,
the VCs.
Swimming in it.
Dude, it's just cartoon money up there. They toss it around.
Oh, yeah.
It all just goes like this.
Sure.
Just grows and grows and grows. All the money.
I wonder, like, how many people from Harvard don't do well once they get out?
That's low.
I don't think there is. Do people do that? I don't think so.
Ted Kaczynski, but
Well, yeah. Did he graduate? Did he make it all the way through? I know they had that program.
He was a professor at Michigan. I know that.
They did have that program for him.
So did Diggs take a class with him?
All right.
If he did online, then maybe.
Maybe. All right, we got to move on. Let's do that. We're moving on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, big shout to Juice.
Thank you, Juice.
Good conversation with that man. That Harvard money, cartoon money is a real thing.
Yeah.
They're going to be my motherfucking neighbors soon, dude. Let's go. We got to get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. They have so much money, those generational people.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Like, they've had it for so long. And up there at Harvard, too, think about that. That's like 1,400.
Old money.
People came in over there.
Oh, yeah.
Legacies at that school, there's so many of them, too.
Well, then hey, you should maybe marry,
This guy. Good-looking guy.
Yeah. Just keep this. Yeah, we don't obviously have any royalty in this world, in this country, of course, but let's make sure all of this stays okay.
In this circle.
And if you're going to travel, by the way, we have a circle over there.
Don't worry.
All right, we got a group over there.
Got a family in every country.
I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
we're back at 4. Congrats to Juszczyk, by the way.
Yeah.
Man.
Harvard guy is very fucking good at football. Hard-nosed football. That's good for the Harvard brand. I
Great
think.
for
Oh,
them.
yeah. Him, Fitzy, two of the hardest nosed guys
God.
we got.
The mind of a Harvard man, the heart of a plumber.
That's right.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe you start saying about Juszczyk. Yeah, no, he's actually quite cerebral, actually.
That's right.
Yeah, quite calculated. cerebral.
All right,
Yeah.
we're back in 4 minutes. Darius Butler will join us for the rest of the show. We got Coach JB in the next hour. We're actually going to take phone calls, but I can't wait to chat with Darius on the other side of this break to get his thoughts on the Saints and the Cowboys and then the weekend slate ahead. We have all of AJ Hawk's picks. I will obviously make all mine. We'll get Darius's as well.
Yeah.
Can't wait to make money through this weekend. And I believe a super boost for Sunday from our heater horse has been sent to the barn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We'll see if it gets okay, and we'll see if that gets going sometime soon. Can't wait to chat with you. See you in 4.
And
Oh, here we go. All right.
Put that capo on.
Something?
No, I was going to let you lead the way, and then we were going to sing our song that we practiced.
What do you guys sing?
It's our song, Aaron. Go ahead.
Our song?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was just about to get into it. It's Tuesday. They say is that Aaron Rodgers is rather great. The son of a bitch lied. Oh. I thought that's where we're still writing it. I thought we were gonna. You guys just got a chance to kind of dive into a writer's room with me and Aaron.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is what, Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah! Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your teammate. Yeah. Steelers potentially staring down a losing season for the first time in 20 years.
Jesus. Damn.
Wow. Damn. Moment of silence, dude. All right, I should stand for this one. It's a big one.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. It's a big 20 years ago.
Seven more minutes.
Ah!
Today's show is presented by Serial One e-bikes. Ooh. Serial One combines the fun and freedom of a bicycle with the effortless joy of electric power to make you feel like a kid again. Mm-hmm. Serial One bikes are fast, sleek, smart, and clean. Stay tuned over the next few weeks for a giveaway as well.
Ooh.
But until then, go get one at serial1.com using code PAT for 10% off your purchase. And yes, they do have flexible financing options with no hidden fees as well. That's serial1.com, code PAT for 10% off your purchase.
You said these things are sleek, huh?
Oh!
How about how quick they are? You see that song?
Whoa! Fucking carbon fiber?
Yeah, it's quick.
Looks light, too.
Dang.
Welcome back to the show. These things are awesome. We should have had one in studio. Had to sprint to Cowboy Beach. You probably heard them on it. It's like Copperhead Road just hit in Roanoke, Virginia right there. You heard my boots clanking there. Joining us now A man who's the host of the Man to Man podcast. Everything DB. 9-year NFL vet, played corner, nickel, safety, everything in the secondary. Big-time brain, ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yeah! Fellas.
Hey, you see me pull up on one of these things, man? No shit's going down.
Hey, that shit was smooth, man.
Hey, this bike
Any pegs on that thing?
No, we're thinking about putting 2 on the front, obviously 1 on the side, so we can grind and then sit on the front, obviously, is what we're looking to do. But this thing's a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Pretty expensive.
Yeah. But that's why you got
But
the code.
Worth it.
Yeah, right now there's a big sale.
Yeah, 10% off.
It's huge.
Code Pat.
This thing's got juice, dude. Like, you turn it on, like, the rabbit mode. Yeah. And it, like, you pedal once, and it's, like, 10 of them. And then it's, like, you can turn it off and get a good workout. It's a very, very good idea.
Yeah, this thing's awesome.
Tesla of bikes.
And Harley's involved in it, so, like, the frame. I mean, it is legit. A little pricey, but
Any chance you ride it into work?
What's that?
Any chance you ride it into work?
I will, yeah. Actually, CFO Phil rode one of these things to our the igloo we're building, which is like 25-minute drive away from here. He rode it all the way up there. He lost his hat. Actually, saw it yesterday on the road as we drove past it. He was like, "That's actually my hat right there." I was like, "Well, let's get it." He was like, "That was 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks. That thing is dead." But yeah, I will ride it to work. I think that's what a lot of people do, D-Bud, is they ride through the cities and to work and everything like that because it will get you there. 50-some miles, too, that thing can go.
Yeah, saving the earth too, man. Eco-friendly.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
I'm a hero. Do you see what I just did?
Big time hero.
I'm a hero. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to last night's game, D-Bud. And also, thank you for joining us on this beautiful Feel Good Friday. Feels like Tampa again.
Hey, it feels right. It feels right.
Yeah, are you, there was a couple times out in Tampa we had to get the, had to pull you down. We had to pull you back down, because the air in Antonio Brown's house, Brown's house right now, the air was a little bit thick in that house.
Yeah, that sage was different. Different out there.
It's great chatting with you. We will talk about Antonio Brown, whose live-in chef was living in the house that we were actually in. We'll have to talk about that here in a bit, but let's talk about last night's game. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, get a win in New Orleans against a very good Saints defense, which I don't think we were even thinking about yesterday with all the injuries to the offense and the way the Super Boost was going. They get a win. It looked ugly. Saints might be, they're so injured. Taysom Hill got the same injury as Russell Wilson. I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Shit.
I don't know what their identity is going to be. Yeah, but Taysom Hill's a Wolverine as well.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts and your takeaway?
He sucked at quarterback kind of before he got that injury. So, but it is a lot of things that he can do for an offense. I just don't think he's a starting quarterback. That defense, I wish we could see that Saints defense with a quarterback because that defense, Dennis Allen, he's got them humming. They flying around. They had a chance last night. Not like Dallas came out there and dominated, which I actually thought they would. Congrats on hitting the Super Boost too. That was
thank you.
That was a gimme, man. But Dak didn't look comfortable. Didn't execute on third down. But that defense, Dan Quinn, backwards hat, he had them humming. Michael Parsons special. Diggs got another pick. I mean, shit, everybody got picked last night. But it's tough to get a win in December. So shout out to the Cowboys.
Okay, so let's talk about the Cowboys. And a win is a win. You should enjoy it. They get Mike McCarthy back. There's some clock management shit that's going on there. And I think the clock management person, and it doesn't get you till it gets you, right? It doesn't it doesn't show up until it shows up. Like end of the half, having 2 timeouts, having a 2-minute situation happen. Like, there's always questions on could you have done it differently? And it's happened with Mike throughout the year. So maybe they need to adjust that. But is there anything in your mind that makes you think from watching that Cowboys team, this team's going to be around championship weekend for the NFC? That's what we were saying.
Honestly, no, not right now. But they do. They have all the pieces there. It's not like McCarthy. He's done this before. He's won games in December. Went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't think he's a bad coach. Dan Quinn, the former head coach, he's got that defense flying around making plays. But they really live on splash plays right now, especially on defense. There were a lot of missed throws that Hill missed last night that other quarterbacks in the NFC in December and January won't miss. Brady won't miss them. A-Rod won't miss them. Some other guys might. But, I can't see. I wouldn't bet on Dallas making a run deep into the playoffs right now after, seeing what they've done for the last month of the season. They have had some injuries, had some COVID issues. Maybe they get over it, but it just doesn't look like they're clicking on all cylinders right now.
Last night was the first time a bunch of their superstars were on the field together for the first time in this entire season. They are leading the NFC East, and there's conversation about Washington obviously getting hot as well with everything they got going on. Ron Rivera, let's fucking go, walking off the field last week. We can't forget that. So maybe they'll be able to find some chemistry, but we're chatting in the first hour, D-Butt. Week 13 is pretty late in the season. Now I know week 17, there's 17 games, it's 18 weeks. Week 13 is pretty late in the season. I think at this point, some of the communication shit that I think was going on with Dak and CD, like there's some alarming things that make us believe, I don't know if you can just say that this team's going to go on a run this year, even though I have the utmost faith in Dak. I love Zeke. I love a lot of them on there. But you saying splash plays, it feels like they get highlights in bunches, but for whatever reason, it just, why is it you think? What is it you think about that team? They always have incredible players. They seem to make incredible plays. How come they just can't stack four together on a regular basis, you think? What is it?
I mean, it's tough to do. It's tough to do. And obviously at this point in the season, everybody, Dennis Allen, he's a damn good coordinator. And they got some good pieces and good players on that defense as well. So they did a good job of mixing it up pre-snap. Post-snap, did a good job disrupting those receivers. Cooper didn't get a ton of snaps, but CeeDee Lamb, he was disrupted a lot, and at timing gets thrown off. So that's a part of it. The O-line, I feel like the O-line, which should be the strength of this team, one of the strengths of this team, has to shore some things up front because Dak, even when he did have time in the pocket, he looked kind of uncomfortable, and then other times he was, under siege. So there are a lot of things Zeke has to get healthy because this offense is at its best when
they won't give him the ball. They won't give him the ball.
What's that?
They won't give him the ball. Granted, Jerry was too drunk to get the headset on and tell Kellen, because Jerry told WFAN earlier.
Street.
Hey, it's about 80% of me, right? Goddamn, bourbon takes at least 20. I was only down there for 2 hours. Shit. But anyways, he was not there. He said it earlier in the week, like Ezekiel Elliott's going to get a heavy load. And I think that was Jerry Jones publicly stating to Kellen Moore, like, hey, Ezekiel Elliott's going to get the ball a little bit more this week. And then there came some crucial downs. And I understand Dak Prescott just got paid too. And Dak Prescott's unbelievable. But they went with a pass, and it did not work out. And there was a zoom in on Kellen's face. And it was as if Kellen had no fucking idea that outcome could come. He was like, I didn't even know we could get an incompletion rate. And it was like, you have a guy, it is a perfect run the clock time. You're up 10, you're up 17. What are we even doing? And we're talking about a 17-point victory, basically, right? I mean, Harris got that long one very late, but it felt like the Cowboys weren't kind of distracted. So a 10-point victory in December is huge. But there's just so much shit that happens. I'm like,
on the road, too.
Yeah. There's just so much shit that happens, though, with like Kellen and the clock management and then some throws and errors that are happening that make you go like, man, I thought this was going to be the year for the Cowboys. And it's like, it feels like we're not there yet.
And that's a big moment. I was just watching that game back, and they were up 10, like 6 minutes on the clock, and I think it was 2nd and 5. And you pass the ball. Pass it, obviously, again on 3rd and 5, but that's why you have Zeke. That's why you have Pollard. And Zeke, to me, he's visibly, banged up. He's not 100%. It was one play late in the game. They motioned him out and threw a damn slant to him when Lattimore was on him. So they are doing some things that you don't quite understand. And like I said, the offense is obviously much better when those running backs are involved, when that offensive line is getting off the ball and blocking guys. And that gives, that opens up the back end for Dak as well. But it's week 13, soon to be week 14. Everybody has the book, man. So you got to start executing and doing the good things you do. You got to start doing it better and throw those bad shit. You just got to throw them out.
Okay, let's talk about that. So you're saying like now when everybody's saying they're playing their best football, like Bill Belichick says, Thanksgiving's when football starts. We got to be playing our best football. That is because throughout the year you figured out what you're best at, and let's just do our shit. Let's do our best shit, depending upon what we need. But also in the same vein, everybody else knows what our best shit is and what our bad shit is as well, right? And that's why it's so hard to win late in the games, because it's kind of a level playing field at that point.
Exactly, and that's why I worry about teams that, kind of survive off the splash plays. It's the teams that can go, who can do the normal, the basic things over and over and over again, and then make those big plays when you need them. Because now it's best on best, especially once you get in the playoffs. It's only going to get tougher. So everybody's self-scouting, everybody's scouting the team, the tape's out on everybody. So all these defensive coordinators, these offensive coordinators, they're going to come in with formations. They're going to come in with matchups, motions, all these different things that they feel will best work work best for this matchup this week. So it's a lot tougher as the season goes on, as opposed to, week 3, week 4, when everybody's still trying to figure out. Because everybody comes into the season with a plan, with an idea how this personnel is going to work, how the special teams are going to shake out. Injuries happen, things happen. And the coaches that do well adjust the best, and the players are smart and they can adjust as well.
I feel like I just learned something there, honestly. I do.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about the angle that, everybody's got film now. Because we talked about Andy Reid's season a few years ago. And then who took the reins of that? Somebody.
Was the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Yeah.
They would win games. They would win games in the season early. That was like, how are the Raiders winning these games? And then all of a sudden, when games mattered, the Raiders just kind of fell off. It was like, what? Every year, it felt like the same thing. And then whenever, every game is a primetime game and the conversation is heightened, you never talk about the Raiders for whatever reason, but you look back on the season, and you're like, wait, the Raiders got some wins. Like, the Raiders got in there. It's like, well, is there a Raiders season where it's like at the beginning of the season when everybody is kind of laying out their shit, I guess, the way you describe it, they can take advantage of it. Like Andy Reid used to be able to do it, it felt like. First 11 weeks, he had so many plays, so many gadgets, and then he ran out. Now he's got all the toys. Now he's got all the toys in the entire store. So it's like, all right, these plays continue to evolve. And maybe, and I'm surprised I haven't thought of this, it is because everybody knows what you're going to fucking do at this point. So you have to execute now. You got to be able to beat them in your rhythm, full court offense.
Yeah, you're not fooling these coaches. These coaches get paid. This is when coaching matters the most. Beginning of the season, players are going to make plays. You're going to get matchups. You're going to win matchups. When guys start getting beat up, bruised, banged up, depth matters more at this point in the season as well, because somebody's going to have to step up. These playoffs, whoever wins the Super Bowl, somebody's going to make plays in that Super Bowl that wasn't expected to make plays, when they came into the season. So all of those things matter, man.
Every year that happens in the Super Bowl.
Every year.
Somebody like Antonio Brown scored a touchdown for the Buccaneers. Okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, think of that. That wasn't the game. Remember, Bruce Arians actually said, we ain't got any fucking room for Antonio. And then that same Super Bowl, a season later, that Super Bowl, he's catching a touchdown from running a route that isn't designed. I mean, the NFL is a crazy place. So let's talk about the NFL and Antonio Brown. Okay, so in the house that we were in, there was a chef. I was actually probably paying the rent for this chef.
You were.
To live in this house, potentially. There's a quarters, actually, that Zito was living in.
That's right.
This chef, I think, potentially moved in afterwards down there in Davis Island area in Tampa Bay.
Nice kitchen, too.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
I mean, the quarters was a good walk. There was a courtyard that was just maybe the coolest thing.
Beautiful.
It's a great house. I mean, the live-in chef had a great house to live in, I think. If it is the house that we were paying for him to live in with Antonio.
Right, it is.
Okay, so that's where we'll start this whole thing. But
come on, we gotta pay the damn chef. Let's start there, man. We got Pat paying the rent.
So is that what happened? I didn't get to dive into this enough. I was tagged in a bunch of. I was in the middle of something last night, so I wasn't able to be on the internet as much. Like the Brian Kelly thing, which I can't wait to get your take on. The Brian Kelly situation hit yesterday on the internet. I wasn't in the live. I got kind of bummed that I missed out. And then whenever I got back onto the internet, Aaron Rodgers was the #1 trend. I was getting added by a lot of people. Antonio Brown and a couple others were suspended for 3 games. I was like, what the fuck? What happened out here? Okay, so the fake Vax card snitch deal with the live-in chef has made its way to the NFL, and these 3 guys are now suspended 3 games for this. AB, I think Ian Rappaport maybe knew this was coming because yesterday he said, it seems like he's not going to be back for some time. The heel that was supposed to be 3 weeks is now.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, he was kind of like, I think he maybe knew something was in the pipeline, but 3 game suspension for those 3 dudes, and Aaron Rodgers got nothing. My take on this quickly before yours, and I'm excited to hear what you think as well. Aaron Rodgers lied to the people and to the media, okay? So the people in the media punished him, by the way, and they did. AB, in this particular sense, if I'm getting it all right, he lied to Roger Goodell, right? And that's where Roger Goodell's like, hey, you remember you write emails about me, what happens? Okay, there's 650,000 of them. You write a fucking email about me, remember? See ya. And all your emails are coming out. I think that is the difference in this whole thing. But the vaccination, protocol suspension here is definitely getting a bit cloudy in there. Definitely getting a bit cloudy.
Yeah, it's obviously we're still in a really weird time, still in the pandemic, and obviously the vaccine and the protocols and not the mandates in the league, but if you didn't get it, the type of day your schedule, how shitty it will be. So a lot of people essentially forced to get it. if you're going to show up to your job. And it's not just NFL. I got one of my friends text me today that works for this huge company. He's like, hey, today they're firing all the fake vax employees, fake vax cards employees. So this isn't something that's just happening. But, you know, when people have money, people have access, people can make a call to somebody. You can go to your damn barber and say, hey, I got this job, I got this gig, I need a card. So that's probably what AB did, and it probably would have never came out if, like I said, if you'd have paid the chef. I think it's bad that he did it, obviously, but this is going on a lot more places than NFL locker rooms. That's just the unfortunate reality that we're living in when you have to, you know, make a decision between your livelihood or not. You know, people are going to do some things that, you know, necessarily don't look great. So not good, not a good look for AB at all, especially with his past. But he'll be out 3 more weeks. And, you know, 6 weeks from now, he'll probably be catching passes in the playoffs. So we won't even be talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. We have to live the day-to-day news cycle. And it is so fascinating because Roger Goodell probably had to make a statement here, you know, to the entire,
for sure.
to the NFL and the world, by the way, you know, because like you're saying, this is everywhere. And as soon as, by the way, as soon as I got the vaccine and then they gave me the card, I thought back to when I was 15 years old and trying to find a fake ID. And I was like, this, I mean, this is just a piece of, this is just a fucking, I mean, this in 2021, this could be, and that's everybody's immediate thought, I think, that has maybe not the purest soul whenever they got their vaccination card. And then it's now, I guess, starting to trickle out much further after than I expected.
Yeah.
But I guess they have a way to catch people. D-Buddy, is there
I mean, the NFL, the Tampa Bay Bucks came out and said they didn't find any discrepancies at first. It obviously got through. So the price, whoever sold this to AB, the price just went up. This thing is good. This thing cleared a couple protocols. I think somebody rolled, somebody snitched. I mean, it happens.
So AB had to say he did it.
Take the fall. Obviously, it is what it is. That's what happens, and especially when you don't pay your debts, man. It get grimy in these streets. So I think that's a big lesson that needs to be learned here.
Well, again, by the way,
I mean, I hate
not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first time. Just pay.
Pay the man his money.
It's easy.
Just pay. I mean, he's living in your house.
Yeah.
Cooking your food.
He's got his own quarters, I guess, over there. And I assume there was some sort of arrangement or agreement, and you got a bunch, you're going to have a bunch forever because you work your ass off. You're incredible at football.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't have to pay first month's rent.
Yeah.
Or second or third.
And by the way, a couple things. Don't have live-in chef life if you don't want to pay live-in chef life. You know, like there's a couple of those things. Now, maybe there was an agreement and the live-in chef was like, nah, remember those extra noodles, you know.
Come on.
You know, that whole thing. You never know how that whole thing could go. I guess we haven't heard AB's side of the entire.
True.
I don't know how that's going to go, but it's crazy. All right, let's talk about Brian Kelly here before we wrap up this hour and then dive into the third hour with Darius Butler joining us the entire way. Coaches getting up and leaving, I think we've all talked about. Got to do, but the way it goes about is despicable. How about Brian Kelly, okay, going down to the bayou, picking up a Southern accent, getting a good pop, dropping an L. I mean, it seems like Brian Kelly's got it all figured out down there. What happens if he gets buzzsawed in the SEC? He is going to eat it. Because I will drop into a Southern accent.
I haven't even won all my games yet.
Yeah, he said my games, by the way.
Well, that's just like when Hugh said, I know I'm going to win here in Cleveland. And I was like, well, this guy's fucking out. I know. Anytime a head coach is saying anytime I know I'm going to win here, not the right mentality. Hugh, good guy, by the way. Cleveland, bad situation. But that is fascinating. Brian Kelly has a long list of shit, I guess, that people definitely hate about him. And this is another one.
Man.
SEC's tough, though, D-Butt.
It is, but Brian Kelly's a good coach, man. Matter of fact, we were in the Big East when he was in Cincinnati, and he turned that program around. Everywhere he's been, he's won. So, I mean, I've been around a ton of coaches. I've been fortunate to have some really good guys that have been coaches. But to be honest with you, a lot of these coaches are assholes. A lot of these guys are type A personalities. A lot of these guys are frauds. They'll walk in your house and throw in a fake ass. You know how many guys in the South he's recruited? He's got plenty of accents under his skin. That was hilarious that he picked it up that quickly. I mean, it's been a lot of hate that's come out about Brian Kelly lately. I don't necessarily have that same venom towards him. He does some little asshole prickish things here and there, but I think at the end of the day, he's a good coach. And I think LSU will be contending for a national championship in the next couple of years.
They're going to have to, or it's going to get hard for Brian Kelly down there in the SEC. It's different down there, especially down in the Bayou. The thought of Brian Kelly picking up the Southern accent and having 4 to 5 different ones. Didn't even cross my mind because he goes into California. Bro, he drives. He's got a California. He's got a California cell. He's down there in South Florida. Okay, he's probably got a little South Florida. I didn't even think about him in the South for all these years.
I would want to hear him switch up from the deep South to like the Texas South because that's a.
Oh, and then drop into Boston. By the way, we want to get a wicked.
Well, I think he's from. Is he from? Mass?
He's from the Northeast. Is Brian Kelly Frank Caliendo when he's recruiting all the players? That's absurd. Holy shit!
All right, let's get to a break. What up, whoa? Brian Kelly. Recruit, and then going. It's wicked awesome up here. And then going to Chicago and Pittsburgh. Just enters a plane, goes into the bathroom, looks in the mirror. We're going to Texas, Brian. All right, we're back in 6 minutes with Darius Butler. Coach JB will join us in that hour. We'll cover everything happening this weekend and predict all the games.
Here we go.
Yeah. Big hour 3 on the other side of this break. We'll see you in 6. Chance to coach one of the smartest humans to ever play in the NFL, and Andrew Luck. And I've told this story before where he made a check in the OTAs and the walkthrough, like the first one he was at, that the rest of the team didn't even know what it was. It was his first day on the practice field, his first day of practice, and he checked out of a blitz. Was that true? And was it at that moment you're like, oh, okay, we got the guy? Is that immediately how that thing happened? And did that thing actually happen with Andrew Luck?
Yeah, so he finally shows up, and he's missed the lion's share of the whole offseason. No offseason program, no OT. He's made one rookie mini camp, and then he's gone. And he finally shows up. We get out to practice, and we're, like you said, we're in a walkthrough. And BA calls a play, and he goes to the line of scrimmage. He's getting everything set up, and all of a sudden it was alert, opposite, makes us check. And T.Y., Reggie, Dwayne Allen, everybody in the back. We had the whole offense over here, the whole defense over here, 3 lines and chains. I spent the whole day, get the F back. I was the get back coach. And all of a sudden he rips out this check, alert, and changes the whole play, changes the protection. We go from a run to pass to run, and everybody's like, what the fuck did he just say? And what is that? We had to blow the whistle, get him back in the huddle, because nobody knew what he was checking to. And we're figuring, okay, this guy is a genius. He is a brainiac.
Out of Philadelphia is one of the biggest inspirations walking around the internet. Gio, the podcast. Yeah! Okay, so you're 14 years old.
Yep.
You're from Philadelphia.
Yep.
Big time Eagles fan, podcaster. You were Carson Wentz's #1 fan.
Yeah. Yesterday, the 801 invited me, and Carson invited me to the game, and I got to go on the sideline and meet Carson again, and he gave me a football.
Let's go! Yeah! You're obviously full of energy, full of optimism, full of upbeat, good vibes.
Yeah.
What do you go through on a day-to-day?
I've had 20 surgeries in my life, so it hasn't been easy. I have a condition called SJS, short-Stampfel syndrome, and it's basically like muscular dystrophy with dwarfism. My elbows are dislocated. My left hip is dislocated. I had to get my right hip reconstructed. The reason I'm so optimistic is because life is too short to focus on the negativity.
Let's go! I'm sorry to hear that you have to be tougher than all of us on the day-to-day, but I am so incredibly thankful that you keep that mindset. How'd you develop a love for football?
We've always been a football family, but then when I started having surgeries, I started watching football, and then I just kind of fell in love.
What does the rest of the season look like for the Indianapolis Colts, you think? Carson's going to keep himself safe out there?
Carson's going to have his best NFL season here in Indy.
Why is that?
He loves it here, and he's having fun. And when Carson Wentz is having fun, he plays his best.
Okay, and how about the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think they got a little developing to do with Jalen.
Are there any players that you'd like to get on your podcast?
Brian Dawkins.
Oh. Is he your favorite Eagle of all time?
Him, Carson, and Zach Ertz are my top 3.
Oh, Zach Ertz. Damn,
so sorry.
Yeah.
Why is everybody getting traded out that you like? What's the deal?
I don't know.
You're really, really good at this. What's the name of the podcast?
Philly Sports with Giovanni.
One last message to somebody out there who maybe doesn't view life the right way, you think?
I'd just say find your happiness and find the thing that inspires you, like I found football, and just try to look on the optimistic side.
Hey, you absolutely crush it every single day. You crushed it in here. We appreciate you. We hope you loved Indianapolis, Indiana. Come back whenever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, Gio the podcaster. That opening kickoff in that Super Bowl you're referring to with the Colts, Hester takes to the crib. You having a little bit of a heart attack there?
Very bad decision, Pat, on my part. All week up in Indy, we're practicing, and we know he's their number one threat. They don't have a lot of offensive weaponry. They win with defense and special team. So for the whole week, we're in Indy. We're not going to let him touch the ball. We practice squibbing to the corners, bouncing the ball, high kick, pop-up kickoff, punt it out of bounds. Everything to not let him touch the ball. We have a chapel service, and the chaplain talks about David and Goliath, and he says, hey, the reason David beat Goliath, he wasn't afraid. Everybody else was afraid. David ran right at him, threw it right between the eyes, and it was over. And I started thinking, we're acting like we're afraid of Devin Hester. So I told the team on Saturday night, I hope we lose the toss. We're going to kick off. We're going to kick it right down the middle. When we pound him, they'll know we mean business. David and Goliath, it's going to be over. We kicked it to him. 12 seconds later, he's in the other end. He's looking at me saying, what idiot decided to kick the ball to Devin Hester? But fortunately, the last 59 minutes, the team made up for it.
Wait until they see the tone we set on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, that was it.
I bet you Vinatieri was sitting there.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to Feel Good Friday, Hour 3 on this December 3rd. YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show Sports Show shall begin right now. Yeah. Talks Table is here. How you doing? Tone Diggs, the man who found the super boost that is going to start the biggest heater in the history of sports gambling.
That's right.
Cost FanDuel almost $3 million last night.
Whoa.
And we're only getting started. To my left, Darius Butler. How you doing, dude?
What's up?
Hey, man, we miss you over here, dude.
Yeah. Hey, miss you guys too, man. I got to get out there soon.
You come on every Monday, obviously, for Overreaction Monday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, actually, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was just such a buzzsaw that, like, I feel like the conversations we have on Monday in our world get forgotten about by Wednesday, Thursday. Happy you could come back on Friday. We miss you.
Let's do it, man. Miss you guys, man. Like I said earlier, it feels right. Feel good is Friday. It has been the same, man.
And what are you doing? You're still blogging? And do you have the words per minute? Are you using all the fingers? Are you pointer fingers?
I'm still blogging, and I do use all the fingers. It's crazy. I just had my daughter, because they don't even do that anymore. I don't know when they start teaching that, putting your fingers on the right things and typing the right way, but I got it down. I don't know my words per minute though, but it's legit.
Do you type on your phone or on a computer?
Computer.
See, I type on my phone. I can't type. I'm not a good typer because I don't use my pointer fingers. I use my middle fingers. I'm a middle finger pointer person, but I can never figure it out for ASDF, GH, JKL, semicolon or whatever. I get that, but when it needs the do-si-do up and down, I couldn't do it. But now full keyboards are on every single phone. Maybe I am. Maybe now is the time.
They have that little slide thing too. It does make it easier with the phone, but you know, when I sit on the
You don't do
keyboard,
the swipe.
I
You
feel-
don't do the swipe. You do not do the
way.
swipe. You do not do the swipe thing.
I do it from time to time. I've been doing it.
No.
Not gonna lie.
He's a voice memo guy, though.
You know, I do things differently, Pat. Voice memo. The last voice memo I sent to Pat, it had to be probably like a minute, maybe like 8 seconds. I feel like, you know, you get your tone across better. You get everything. And Pat texts me back, "Hey, D-Buck, I am not listening." So you gotta know your personnel, man. So I don't use it with everybody, but I definitely do use it.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, I listened to it. I ended up listening to it, but
Yeah, it's probably
my first reaction seeing 1 minute and 8 seconds is like, Deepa, what am I supposed to do?
Well, we
right
talked
now?
about that because you gotta play it out loud too, and you don't know what the fuck's coming across. That
No
phone.
idea what's coming through. There's not even a preview. Like, can I get the first sentence or two, maybe? Like, just to see what it is. But I was, you know, I'm a big FaceTimer. I like FaceTiming. Like, I enjoy FaceTiming because I feel like we can make it quick. We can get it over with. And I'd also like to see the shit that's coming out of your mouth as it's coming out of your mouth if I potentially, you know, I think for me, with some of the things I say, you know, in text messages, not always the same as the delivery.
Sure.
So I like to face. I'll get to the voice member though. You're advanced. Remember you were using what was that, Clubhouse? Yeah.
Clubhouse, yeah.
You still in there?
Yeah, now we got Spaces. You know, Clubhouse. It popped at the right time. You know, it was pandemic. Everybody was locked down. You know, people weren't really talking to each other like that. So it was a cool. And I think it's still cool. The live audio thing is definitely cool. I think it's here. It's going to be here for a while. Me and AB built a big following over there. So we definitely have to get back over there. We got our NFL locker room club over there. I think we got 30-something thousand in the club. I think one of the biggest, definitely the biggest football club over there on Clubhouse. So we may jump back on it.
Clubhouse is still happening. This is something with me. Like Snapchat was a thing, and I was on Snapchat way back. Whenever I think
still happening, by the way.
Crushing, huge.
Kids love it.
Love it. I can't do it for whatever reason. My habits can't get out of Twitter, Instagram. And that's it, basically. I can't add anything else. There's people that are everywhere. There's people that are only on some places. I remember Clubhouses, but once Twitter took and brought in Spaces, I was like, well, there's no chance I'm going to leave this. And they knew it, too. That's why Instagram did the stories and the reels and everything like that, because they know that people are, you know, kind of creatures of habit, and you stick in there. But I remember listening to a Clubhouse or two from you guys over there fucking crushing it. I do enjoy whenever you and AB get to chat. I saw him last week at Robert Mathis's Ring of Honor ceremony. Not a single clip in Hard Knocks of that. Did you see that?
How do you leave that out, especially with having all you guys in the building, all those legends, and then honoring, you know, one of our greatest pass rushers in the organization? I don't know how you leave that out. I did like a lot of the stuff that they put in there, especially with my guy Kenny. But I mean, come on, guys.
Let's talk about the Colts. Let's talk about the Colts a little bit because we got a chance to watch them. They lost 10-point lead. Run. I mean, there's stats to say you don't, I guess. And the voiceover guy, I heard him say, you know, well, it's the number one rush defense in the NFL, and Carson's hand was hot or whatever. It's like, well, this is the number one rush offense in the NFL here with Jonathan Taylor as well. What do you think about the Colts? They're a team. We were chatting last hour, and you brought up a really good point. Like, hey, at this point, your team, you got to be able to matriculate the ball down the field. You got to be able to run your base shit and get down the field, because the only thing that is going to win in the end is a consistency at a level that doesn't show up in just splash plays and highlights. If you're going to be a team that's going to go, you got to be able to go. I think the Colts are built to be a team like that. I honestly do believe that. And you played for the Colts for a long time, have good ties with the Colts, obviously. You think the Colts can go on a run? AFC is going to be tough, obviously. NFC is going to be tough. But the Colts feel like they have a team. Is it just the run game? You think, is that basically if you can run, you can sustain?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For them, when you got a guy like Taylor who's, you know, healthy, who's finding his groove at this point in the season, same way he did last, you still got Hines who can mix it up, tight ends who can block and be effective in the pass game. I think you do need a little more at the receiver position, especially at big moments, because in this league, you're going to need those guys to win and make some big plays down the stretch. Carson's been playing good. And then the AFC side, you know, outside of Mahomes, it's nobody I feel super comfortable with betting my money on in December and January. So it's definitely wide open. There's no room for error for the Colts going forward right now. They're obviously sitting at 6-6. I think couple games behind the Titans. who also I think are about to struggle down the stretch.
Oh,
But it's there, man. You got an O-line. I did love that clip from Hard Knocks. So when Quentin Nelson went up to Coach, like, hey, Coach, let's run the damn ball. Like, let's run the damn ball. And then you got JT going. And when Carson gave that strip sack to Barrett, that was kind of in a mode where they were passing, dropping back a lot. And when you get a pass rusher like that, you get that tempo, you get that rhythm. Okay, they didn't drop back and pass it 12 of the last 15, 16 snaps. I'm going to get Fisher one of these times. So that was a big turning point, I think, in that game.
And let's talk about, because they were alluding to the fact that the run game was not working as efficiently as it had the past 8 games where he rushed for 100 yards or whatever in the beginning. So they decided to go to the pass game or whatever. It's like Derrick Henry, okay, the league's leader in rushing whenever he was playing before he got injured. And by the way, running backs get hit a lot. They kept feeding him, whether he was getting a half a yard, no yards, less than a yard. Because guess what? In the third and fourth quarter, those people who are just eating thighs, okay, and you were one of these guys, I guess, they could potentially lighten up. In the offensive line, by the way, that has been punching and punching and punching. Sometimes guys can get beat up a little bit, and all you need is a couple to pop, and boom, boom. Then you have your entire identity remains intact. And you give yourself the best chance to win when you're up 10. I just think that aggressiveness, that decision, like Kellen Moore last night with Dak throwing the ball, and even like Sean Payton, who just maybe could have ran Taysom like 30 times last night. Maybe they get a different, I don't know if they win. Hindsight, we have the gift of hindsight, but it feels like play callers get a little bit like, I don't know, too prideful or like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Is that something you think? Like, do you think play callers?
I can't look back. I mean, like you said, we do have the gift of hindsight, and obviously Shaquille Barrett, great player, made a great play. There was some other turnovers as well that hurt us. But, he did make some good calls, and I can't look at Frank. I can't say necessarily called a bad game. Because we talked about it earlier, those are some grown-ass men up front in that Tampa Bay, and it's hard to move those guys. But you gotta keep trying. But he did call a good game. Even that fourth down conversion when T.Y. scored, like he subbed in, called a timeout, brought in the big guys, brought in JT, and then sprinted out and passed the ball when the defense was thinking run. So there are times it worked, there are times it won't work. It's on that coach, on that play caller to know the identity, to listen to your guys like Quentin Nelson and say, hey, let's just start running this thing downhill. So I got to give Frank some credit, and players just got to make plays. At the end of the day, regardless of the X and O's, it comes down to the Joes
and Jimmy's.
Or the Jonathans.
Well, in this particular one, John Taylor's. That comes down to the John Taylors and the Quentin Nelsons. But
Johnson.
Frank's probably telling the team, hey, we're up 10 on the world champions. We were up 10 on the world champions. We let that one slip away. We were up on the Ravens into the fourth quarter. We let that one.
Titans.
The Titans, we were up on the Titans when they had Derrick Henry one of the 2 games. We let that one slip away. There is so much that they were like so close. It's like, when will they get going? Maybe they will. Let's go ahead and, pivot a little bit to this weekend.
Here we go.
Okay. And this is something, D-But, where every Friday, AJ and I predict the entire weekend spread and against the spread. And we have Coach JB joining us in about 17 minutes. He'll tell us about championship weekend for college football. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on all of that. But if you don't mind, would you mind picking every single game alongside me and
let's do it.
Okay,
hey, let's go.
Let's do it. AJ Hawk texted his picks, I believe, to Zito. Zito will put the picture up on the screen. Did he not send it to you? Zito, you put the picture up on the screen after we make our picks to see what he did.
Okay.
And we'll motor through those and tell him how smart he is. So this is without the gift of seeing AJ's picks. I asked him to send them to me. He said no.
He wouldn't do it.
He sent them to Zito. And he even put it. He sent it on he wrote his answers. He wrote his things down, and it had an AJH at the bottom of it, like his note. Like he's writing a letter scroll.
Yep, nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Love it.
You have terrible handwriting because of his fingers?
No, pretty good actually. It's pretty it's like a very
stenciled.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good handwriting, actually. All right, let's get started. We both had the Cowboys. I assume you had the Cowboys last night. You said that Super Boost was a handout. You just spilled shit all over yourself. You'll get through it. You'll get through it.
Water, no water, no big
I ain't gonna hurt nobody. Let's go to Vikings-Lions. Lions are getting 7 points at home. The Lions are in the middle of the worst offensive run in the history of the NFL. Now, just the last 15 years, but the NFL has changed so much in the last 15 years. You might as well say they would have been worse than than anybody pre-15 years because the rules have changed for offenses to be good, and they have somehow been the worst. Diggs?
7 in the hook, if that changes anything.
Oh, 7.5 now. The Lions getting at home against rival Vikings. Your thoughts, Darius Butler?
It is late in the season, divisional, but Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings minus 7.5 me as well. I ain't never.
Swift is out too. Vikings.
Yeah, and by the way, after the more and more I hear from the Lions, it feels like MCDC's mailed it in for this year.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, I think it's officially safe to say.
No chance.
16-1 is going to happen.
Yeah, I've already made that decision. So,
1,000%.
But will they potentially keep it within 7.5 against the Vikings, who still have some shit to play for, right? Yeah, give me the Vikings. They're gonna.
Yeah, they're in it.
Motorboat them right out of Detroit. And there's 45 fans for the first time in the stands. There's only gonna be 45 people there.
People.
They have nothing to buy a ticket for, Darius, up there. Nothing. They used to buy it for Stafford. Now there's nothing, D-Butt.
And there's not even hope for next year either.
No hope.
Might as well mention that too.
They got to pay off $20 million next year.
They deserve better.
I agree, D-Butt. They got to pay.
They deserve better.
Yeah, go ahead.
They deserve better. Sell the team.
Oh.
And pay Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Move.
Thank you, D-Bun.
Just keep
Not
it in
just
Detroit,
sell,
though.
move the team.
Keep it in Detroit.
No, what we're saying is San
Keep it in
Antonio.
Detroit. I like
San Antonio.
Whoa.
San Antonio Lions.
No.
San Antonio Lions.
How about
Toronto?
Sports City.
Send them to
Love
Toronto.
sports.
Oh, the Canadian Lions.
They already got the Argonauts.
Name them the Detroit Dumps, and then just embrace it. And just be that. Be the Dumps forever.
Put a poop emoji on the helmet.
My height.
Oh, that's good. That was just one game in. We already got cities selling teams. AJ Hawk, in his selection, he picked
Vikings minus 7. It was minus 7 at the time. So
He picks Vikings minus 7.5. We're all on the same page. That feels like probably a pretty good bet, or a terrible one. We shall see. Cardinals at Bears, another 7-point spread. This time at home, Bears getting 7 points. This
is 7.5, and it also just came out that Cliff Kingsbury said Kyler Murray and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins are game time decisions for Sunday.
Fuck.
Are they practicing?
Kyler was practicing before
if D-Hop practices, he plays.
Sent that GIF out. Kyler Murray tweeted that GIF.
Oh yeah, Kyler's playing. He can't put out that dude's head with the thing.
Arizona
sitting down.
Arizona 7.5.
7.5. I hate these hooks, but 7. Arizona.
They're tricky.
Ooh.
Dalton's starting, right?
Yeah. Did they say
Give
about
me the
Dalton?
Bears.
Wow. I like that.
Plus 7.5. Give me the Bears plus 7.5.
I like it.
Cardinals win, but
7.5's a lot.
I like it, man. Cardinals from wire to wire, they look like the best team.
Oh, they're so good.
Well,
the Bears should have lost last week.
It looked like they were both practicing this week, by the way. For
oh yeah, Arizona. They're playing.
I got video of it. They're stretching at least.
Oh my God! In my head, I just try to see the game, and every time I see Andy Dalton's helmet getting taken off to a miserable face, with a great beard,
Amazing beard.
No, I see like his head, getting crushed.
Like for the Cowboys when they played Washington last year.
Yeah, so maybe that's the one that's getting me.
No.
Yeah, no one helped him up. He got slammed.
Give me the Bears plus 7.5.
Let's go.
Wait, Tone, it's only visual of them stretching?
Yes.
Okay.
They're doing They're doing calisthenics, doing a little karaoke.
So that's not practice. That's trainers.
Because coaches' teams, we do something called dog and pony show. Sometimes you just have guys out there stretching, do a little individual, and send them inside as soon as the media goes out. So the media said, "Hey, I saw so and so on the field today," and
they're running with the rest of the team.
No, it's training though. Yeah, it's warm ups. If we don't have any, actual periods.
Limited capacity for Kyler. He's yet to do a full practice this week.
Yeah, so the way they can word that, he could just do warm ups. I mean, there is
do individual.
The tweet.
Yeah.
The tweet.
Yeah, the tweet is real.
That one was
and I'm gonna stay with 7.5. Let's go next. Let's go Bucks. Who does AJ have?
He has the Cardinals. Minus 7.5.
God damn it! All right, let's go Bucks Falcons. Bucks favored by 10.5 in Atlanta. If you do recall, Bucks at Falcons late in the season last year, maybe middle of the season, late middle of the season last year. Second half is when the Bucks decided to flip the switch. They go into a bye week. They change their whole thing. Boom, they go on a full run there. Big time rival. 10.5 is a lot of points to be on the road for the world champs, D-Butt.
I got the Falcons in this one. I want Falcons.
How's the injury situation with the Falcons? Is anybody on their team playing other than Kyle Pitts?
Calvin Ridley's still. There's been no update really, so I don't think he's.
But what's his name's been back?
Cordell's
been back.
That's all that matters. That's all that. They don't score points when he doesn't play. So
he plays every position. That guy.
Every position.
They had him
Utility guy. Swiss Army knife. He's
Good
a
for him.
monster.
He's been playing football for a long time in the league, and out of Tennessee, I believe, returner and wide receiver and all that.
Mhm.
Now he's playing safety. What if this guy could have been doing all this since year one and somebody won't give him an opportunity?
Just returning
Well,
kicks
that
for the
kind of
Vikings.
just wasted his talent in Chicago and Minnesota.
No.
He was Pro Bowler in Minnesota.
No, he crushed for New England. We were the first team to put him at running back.
No, the Bears, you guys ruined his career.
He had those amazing kick returns.
We thought he was dead. Yeah, he was a Pro Bowler in
Yeah.
Minnesota for being a kick returner.
He's an all-timer in that department.
Yeah, but also, I guess he plays safety as well.
He's good at other positions.
This dude's a
too.
ball hawk
Plays
out
it
there.
all.
Give me the Buccaneers. What is
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What does AJ say?
He had the Bucks at -11, so 10.5.
Okay, perfect. All right. Colts Texans at 10. This is down in Houston. Go ahead. TY anytime touchdown is a good bet here. I will also take the Colts minus. Is Tyrod Taylor playing?
I believe
Yeah, I
so.
believe so.
Yeah, he played last
Looks
week
like
too.
road faves are the.
Give me the. Go ahead, D-Bot. What are you doing?
You take this one first, man,
Okay, so.
because this is tough.
They lost to the Jets last week.
Who did?
The Texans. And Tyrod was.
What did AJ pick?
AJ has Texans +10.
All right, give me the Colts then. Give me the Colts minus 10.
I'm riding with AJ on this one. I got Texans.
Are you kidding me? Did you hear Frank Reich lay out all the decisions he made, why he made it in the press conference? They're going to come prove a goddamn point.
Yeah.
Frank Reich might
They're
have...
going to win. Colts will win.
Coach Dave's going to be chewing his tongue first quarter when Jonathan Taylor's up over 150 yards. And I love Tyrod Taylor. He owes me actually 20 public push-ups because of West Virginia, Virginia Tech. Maybe get a couple of those in this week as you're watching Jonathan Taylor run all over the barn.
Yeah, you're getting a pissed off Colts defense. They just gave up 38.
Houston is 31st in the league in opponents rushing yards.
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
You locked in already, D-Butt. Sorry about it. Let's go Eagles, Jets. Eagles favored by... This slate stinks. Eagles favored by 7 going into Zach Wilson's return for the Jets. Darius, your thoughts?
Eagles.
Wow.
Eagles. They're averaging 35 for like a month. They laid an egg last week. I don't like the Jets. Don't like Zach Wilson right now. Eagles, Jalen Hurts get back on track.
All right, I got the Eagles as well on the road. AJ Hawk also.
Eagles.
Sirianni's boys. Let's go to the Chargers, Bengals. Chargers getting 3, traveling to cold-ass Cincinnati. I mean, cold-ass windy Cincinnati. Bengals are back. Chargers are dead. 3-point spread at home. What are your thoughts, D-Butt?
Chargers +3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Chargers +3.
All right, give me the Bengals -3. What did AJ Hawk do?
Bengals.
Oh, yeah, he has to, though.
Yeah.
He actually has to do that. I forgot
They'll
about
both
that.
be 7-5 after this week. Bengals, Chargers.
All right.
Sante Samuel back.
Don't know.
Need that. Damn, that's important.
Junior.
Are the fucking Chargers back, dude? They were terrible last week. I mean, that is...
I mean, that's what they've been in. They've been off and been on, but you know.
Ooh,
Who
maybe
you
this
taking,
is a
Herbert
game.
or Burrow right now? Build your franchise around.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well...
I'll make this decision soon, man. You're probably buying a team soon. You got to
No,
start.
that is not the big thing. I did see Denver's up for sale, and some people tweeted that. I appreciate that. I'm about 3 deals away from that. So no, I'm joking. Maybe 4.
Sante Samuel.
Maybe 2.
Doesn't look good.
Depending upon the 2 and depending upon what the interest rate is on the bank that I go to, I would have to go to at that point. But what are you saying over there?
Sante Samuel is still in the concussion protocol. It seems
He ain't playing. Give me the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm building around. I'm having a split backfield. And they say when you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. I got Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow on the team. I'm going to win.
That's right.
I'm not doing it. Let's go to Giants Dolphins. I think Joe. I don't know. I honestly that's a great. Hey, that should be a poll.
Well,
that should be a poll right
but
now.
I think like you put Joe Burrow in the Chargers offense. I think I mean like in terms of playing out in LA, like I feel like Herbert with his personality and everything would have a tougher time playing in Cincinnati than Burrow would playing in LA.
See, I think I'll just go team wise.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know between
They
them.
both. I mean, they both surrounded by great weapons. I'm going Herbert. You know, I'm going Herbert.
So if you have to,
Chargers.
by the way, I love Herbert too. He's like 6'5". He's a fucking animal. But it's like
You do that draft over again, Herbert's going number 1.
Okay, so let's put a poll out on the.
He's got a clean bill of health too. That
And Herbert takes hits and he slides and everything like that. Joe Burrow's still trying to get killed. So do I care about the future of the franchise, or am I like, hey, let's move some tickets here and watch a guy?
It's Herbert.
Taking
It has to be Herbert, I guess.
Give me Joey B.
I know, like I want Joey B.
Joey
too,
B.
but
He got some gangster in him though.
That's what I'm saying.
That guy. He's that guy. Like,
He hates Herbert though
some
because
Brady
he's
in
pissed the Dolphins passed on him.
Well, yeah, so he's got an inherent. But in Gumpy, if you could please leave that out of it.
I've never said that. Tony's been spinning that yarn for years.
Okay, well, I apologize for believing Tone all of a sudden then, Gump. That is on me there. But honestly, that's a tough fucking question, I think. I don't know, because I love... If I'm owning a team right now, and I go down in the locker room, and Joey Burr's there, I think you're pumped. But Herbert seems to be...
Same deal.
Yeah, same
Hey,
thing.
put that poll up. Let's put that poll up. Let's do that for let's do an hour. Let's do an hour. You own a team. You just bought a team. Who are you drafting to be your franchise quarterback? Both have good offensive lines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, every single draft really. You could go back to 2018 because Kyler and Josh Allen, weren't they the same draft?
Oh, yeah. Who would you? I'd go with Josh Allen,
You
I
could
guess.
throw Lamar Jackson in there too if you want.
But then Hall.
It's absurd.
Lamar
'cause there's
was
so
with
many.
Baker.
Yeah.
Baker,
Oh,
Lamar,
okay. That's an easy one.
Allen,
Yeah.
Josh Rosen.
Rosen.
Don't forget
9 teams made a mistake.
Darnold.
You remember the next
Darnold.
time? Hey, when he was about to get traded out of there, Josh Rosen out of Arizona, the media, somebody's getting an absolute gift.
Yeah.
Somebody, I cannot believe we have not seen a first rounder traded for Josh. People are saying, what are we? Did we watch the same fucking football? What is even going on?
Also, Hielwani, this cannot be forgotten. When the Bills drafted Josh Allen, Hielwani said, "That's the wrong Josh. You should have taken Josh Rosen."
Hielwani actually said that?
Oh yeah, it gets people bring it back
no,
up.
how come I have never seen this
I
before?
have it bookmarked in my Twitter. I'll send it in right now.
I did not know that. We just found a nice little piece of information. Let's go to the game. We got to get through these, I guess. Giants, Dolphins, 4.5.
6. Daniel Jones is hot.
Okay, give me 2 in the Dolphins. You're the same way, I assume?
Yeah, Dolphins.
Washington Raiders, 1.5, 1.5.
Football team.
Yes.
Give me the Raiders.
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm still a football team.
What are the last
They've
two
been beating
that
people up?
What are the last two that AJ has?
He had Dolphins and then Dolphins and Washington football team.
God damn it, Ron Rivera. Let's fucking go walking off of that thing. I would like to win this week, because I lost last week.
Beat the boys. Raiders might be getting hot.
Give me the Raiders. All right, dude. Ravens, Steelers, 4.5. Give me the Ravens, minus 4.5 in Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm sorry I had to do it.
Give me Steelers.
Pittsburgh's tough to play. 4.5 is a lot of points there for the Steelers, Ravens, and in Pittsburgh.
Don't overthink this one. Lamar is running for 400 yards.
Oh, geez. Self-handicap. All right, I'll take the Ravens. What did AJ take?
Yeah, it's the Ravens.
Ravens, okay. And then Jaguars, Rams.
What's the line on that?
13. Give me the Jags.
Shit. Give me the Rams. I'm taking the Rams.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
That makes me wonder now. What did AJ take?
Rams.
Fuck.
13.
He's not even taking Urban on this. Trip to LA, that disciplined team. Where's Urban going to be? Do we got eyes on Urban night before this game?
Someone better.
Cliff Kingsbury was DMing
Before, you better worry about after.
He's going to be at the Roxbury.
What about halftime, too? I guess SoFi's got a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The boys will bust. 13, give me the Jags plus 13. The Rams still win probably by like 10. 13's a lot of fucking points. The Niners, Seahawks plus 3.5 at home against the Niners.
Damn. I gotta go with the Niners, man.
Yeah, me too. Let's not
going to a game trying to get 40 runs. Yeah, I'm going with that team.
Yeah, let's not overthink it. Let's do that one. Who's AJ got there?
49ers.
All right. And then Broncos, Chiefs, 9.5. Chiefs at home against the Broncos, who find ways to win, it seems like, out of nowhere.
Give me Broncos.
And the Chiefs didn't play last week, so we all forget that they are a football team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did they do enough self-scout and get back in that thing? Did they get healthy?
Chiefs will win. They won't cover.
9.5 is a lot of points.
Division, too.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs for sure. Remember, the Broncos are the team that Patrick Mahomes played against his rookie year when Alex Smith was sitting out.
Yep.
And got to win and prove to the world, like, hey, we can move on from this guy who's playing the best football he's ever played in his entire life and have a much cheaper contract with this guy who's been dicing us on the practice squad all year. So I think a little special place for Patrick Mahomes against the Broncos. And I got ears on the ground telling me no Jackson Mahomes.
Also,
really?
Chiefs defense has been playing very well the last few weeks.
And AJ has?
He has the Broncos. You took the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, here we go. Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll figure out what we're going to bet on for college football. D-Butt, good selections out there.
Yeah, good
Not
pick.
bad,
So,
D-Butt.
got the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes Big Ten championship, right?
Yeah.
They got a chance?
We'll see. Defense got to score about 3 touchdowns.
Tory Taylor
Yeah.
also. The punter's going to have to score a touchdown or 2 as well.
No chance. That's what that sounds like to me.
Well, hey,
there's a plan.
hey,
There's a-
they've been doing it all year.
That's Hawkeye football.
That's why they're in that game.
87 yards on offense and then just eat on defense and special teams.
Yep, bingo. Tory Taylor might score a tud. Let's not.
He might play quarterback.
He should. I don't know why he
Wouldn't
hasn't
hurt.
been all year. We're back in 4 minutes with Coach JB, Darius Butler, all the boys wrapping up this Feel Good Friday, December 3rd. And we also have, hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday giveaway at the end.
Whoa!
Yeah, there's a lot more to figure out here in the last 30 minutes. We can't wait to see you then. Cheers. We regret to inform you that in the real world, the one that we're living in right now, this is an actual news clip about what's potentially going on amongst the fans in Kansas City. As the Chiefs seem to refine their identity, it seems like the fans are crumbling into pieces. This is, once again, an actual news piece on Fox 4 in Kansas City.
Well, if you spend any time around here on game day, you're likely to be aware of at least one of these men. The man known as the X Factor has been around for decades. He's the one seen in the video getting knocked down by another man who the people of Section 129 may know as Red Extreme.
There's X Factor.
Here it is.
This
Chiefs!
is about 6 years ago, meeting and whooping it up with young Chiefs fans. And this is X Factor today.
Oh, no. What?
Only recognizable by his foam hat.
What?
The Broncos colors from the hospital. They kicked me out of Arrowhead. First time ever X Factor's been kicked out.
Third person.
We don't have permission to show the video of the X Factor falling after an apparent punch, but it has nearly 1 million views on Twitter. The X Factor explains what happened from his perspective and who is involved.
He's my old apprentice. I actually made him famous. Gave him the name Red Extreme. I saw him come run up the stairs at me, and he had that look, I'm going to kill you. And so I tried to grab his jersey to stop him and talk to him, and he, like the movie Friday, he deboed me one punch, and I saw stars. They took me to triage at Arrowhead, checked me out. I felt all right at the time, but then I didn't know I'd broke my ribs.
Red Extreme posted a 17-minute video message to his Facebook page following the incident. He says, "A cup of water was thrown and hit my wife in the back and splashed onto me."
Can't do that.
He continues, "I have never in my life felt so bad about feeling so good because knocking that low-life son of a expletive out was the greatest feeling I've had in a long time. My problem is it happened inside the stadium, and I never imagined in my life I would behave in that manner in the stadium." He also accuses the X Factor of being inebriated.
It says that I'm a meth addict, which I'm a cocaine addict and alcoholic. I've been clean for 4 years.
Okay,
He
much
said I
different.
threw a water
Congrats,
bottle
by
at
the
him,
way.
which I didn't. And I flipped my car a week ago Tuesday. So it's been a wild week.
What?
Wait.
This makes me stronger. Jesus was persecuted.
Of course.
I'll come back fighting.
Is looking to press charges at this point, but throughout the day we did try to connect directly with Red Extreme, but were turned down. However, immediately before our broadcast we spoke by phone, and he stressed
that anything that the X Factor says should be taken with a big dose of skepticism, and that he himself actually stepped away from the Superfan community because of his distrust and distaste of X Factor's behavior.
Wow.
All right, Jacob Kittle.
Thank you, Jacob Kittlestad.
Thank you, Jacob.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, and we love our partners at BarkBox.
Oh, yeah.
But we understand that some dogs might have a little bit stronger, better jaws, a little stronger jaws. Is Darius dead? No, okay.
No, sorry. I got worried there for a second.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, his head down, not moving. I was like, oh my God, can we send a little fire in the hole over there? We need a little clear down there in South Florida. Jeez. Hope you're all right.
Oh, we got a
back.
Oh, the sage.
Right.
No,
come back down, D-Bud. Come back down.
Jeez. I don't know what altitude D-Butt's at, but if he's up there with some big biting dogs, he needs to find out that Super Chewer is the subscription box for dogs that love to chew.
Oh, yeah.
With tough toys and many treats and chews that are meaty and delicious. It comes with 3 durable toys, always fluff-free, made of tough rubber and nylon.
Oh, perfect.
2 full bags of allergy-friendly treats and 2 meaty, all-natural chews for your dog every month. Get a free extra toy in every box, $84 value for a year.
Wow.
Plus free shipping by going to superchewer.com/Pat. That's superchewer.com/Pat. It's like BarkBox, but for dogs with a good. Joining us now is a man who has a few dogs that seem to be incredibly beautiful that have probably great chompers. Ladies and gentlemen, JUCO champion, head coach, Netflix star, and a man who tells us who's going to win every single weekend in college football. Founder of Everything Slapdick, ladies and gentlemen, Coach JB.
What up, brother? You guys hear me?
Coach JB, what's going on, man? Coach, you there?
Can you hear me?
No.
Fucking Zito. Fucking Zito.
No, every time, every time you come on, you say, what's up, can you hear me? And we just decided this week that we're going to act like we couldn't, but we could hear you. You sound amazing. It is great to see you, Coach. We apologize. We don't want Zito to take the one on the shins here.
See, y'all made him switch something up.
Oh, no.
You got me now?
Yeah. No, JB, that's on us.
Fucking Zito.
No.
We tested it.
That was on me. That was on us in here. Jeez.
Got me scared, man. I got my dogs under me, fucking hitting wires and shit. You know, it's ghetto over here, dog. I ain't got that cheese like you over there.
Well, it's great to have you. We appreciate you joining us. Let's get right into it. Coach Brian Kelly has a Southern accent at LSU. This is very normal, right? Let's assume that and Darius brought this point up earlier. Darius said he's probably got 5-6 different accents in his bag whenever he's been through his recruiting days. The internet is killing him, JB.
As they should. You know, the cool part about it is sometimes it's not the people who change, it's the mask that falls off. These kids they got to see through this shit. Like, these cats take off these fake ass masks every day and move jobs, take jobs, all that shit. Now, you know me, I'm still against the portal and all that, but at the same time, these coaches, man, are the shadiest cats in the business. And until something changes, and that's the kids and their parents and their high school coaches doing the more research, it's going to continue, man. They're putting these bags, they want to call them, in these coaches' pockets, man, and in their banks, and they're not really doing anything to stop it. They're allowing it over and over and over, and these cats continue to use these kids as a piece of meat in the meat market. That's what they are. They're pieces of meat. Jeez. And until it changes, man, I give shout out to Notre Dame for hiring the young brother who's never had any head coaching experience And that is kind of something, at least finally somebody's done it. Now there's got to be some more coaches that do it, more ADs, more presidents that follow suit.
Go ahead, Darius.
Nah, shout out to right what JB said. Shout out to Marcus Freeman. He actually we came out the same year. D coordinator out of Notre Dame, got that job. Great opportunity for him. But yeah, some of these coaches are for. I can't see Coach JB switching his accent up though. I think you kind of. I don't see you taking that mask off.
Man, you know what I learned a long time ago, man, dealing with all these dudes. If you don't recruit JUCO, you fake as a motherfucker. And you know, Brian Kelly,
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Nabo Sweeney, they don't recruit JUCO. Vodtech for years didn't recruit JUCO. I'm a Beamer fan, but they wouldn't recruit JUCO. And it's crazy that Clemson won't because their D coordinator Venables is a Garden City, Kansas JUCO guy. And Clemson refuses to do it. Notre Dame refuses to do it. And I'm like, I get it. Notre Dame, you got the prestige, you won all this stuff, but you got like JUCO facilities.
Hey, hold on.
You guys are horrible.
Hey, Coach JP,
horrible
okay.
facilities. Their JUCO dorms are worse than ours at Independence.
I did not know that about Notre Dame.
It's bad. Ask Kevin Olson. Kevin Olson will tell you why he went to Miami. You know he signed Notre Dame first.
No, I did not know that. So
yeah, he went in his. I coached his little brother Kevin Olson. So when Greg went into the dorms, man, and he said the bed was this big, he was like, "I'm out. I'm out of here." He went to Miami.
Hey, that's because he had to get on the fifth floor, seventh floor.
Yeah.
So he had to get on the seventh floor of the dorms down there in Miami. You know, what's your name? G-Reg, you know? We remember, Greg. We know you got your suit and tie on TV, obviously.
Yeah.
But you are an epically hilarious human being. Coach JB, Marcus Freeman, he gets the head coaching gig. And I talked about the strength coach and how important the strength coach is because they're with you all day, every day. They are literally the ones who are supposed to be on everybody's team, just trying to make everybody better. It's a great relationship. And the way Notre Dame had him introduce Freeman is like to the team, like, hey, this is going to be your new head coach. I take everything with a grain of salt. Like, okay, these kids have to be fake happy at least for this head coach because he controls their futures now. There's scholarships, their playing time. But that video of him coming in and them swarming him, it seems like he is beloved in that locker room with that team. I don't think they're going to miss a beat, JB, just because of that video. You know, you have to kind of sort through the shit that the players have to give their love, but it felt genuine there for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was a setup, obviously, for him to break through the doors like fucking Superman. But that part of it. But the real thing is, he's a recruiter on that staff. He's a go-getter, and he's probably got the heartbeat of that team, 90% of them at least. And so that I'm sure that's 90% real. And those kids probably love him for staying, not going. And you know, the true testament, man, if you look at this thing is nobody followed Kelly. No staff member. So, you know, there's an old buddy of mine told me a story when he was at Michigan State with Saban. Saban called the staff and said, listen, man, I'm on the tarmac. I took the job at LSU. Meet me at the airport. And nobody showed. Oh. No coach met him at the airport. And some coaches don't want to grind the Saban way. Some coaches don't want to be faked out and fall for the okie doke, the Kelly way. So there's two different thought processes. One of them is a work grinderholic. You know, they call Nick Saban Nick Satan for a reason, right? Because he grinds you. But at the same time, Coach Kelly has been in our world is known as a kind of a bullshitter and a liar to his staff. And it's ironic how you don't get half the staff to follow Saban. You don't get nobody to follow Kelly for different reasons. And I think those guys staying at Notre Dame and telling those kids, you know, we're not going nowhere. I think it also helped the kids think, okay, we got somebody here that wants to be here, that doesn't just have to be here, you know.
It's interesting because I have never openly said anything negative about Brian Kelly until I saw like Tommy Rees, you know, who's a young guy that I just assumed would want to go to the SEC, give a speech about like, no, I love being here. I'm staying here. This is where I'm going to be. It's like he's supposed to say that, but also I've seen in the past guys be like, hey, that's my guy. I'm fucking out of here. I'm going to the SEC. So I think that was all, let alone the family. I mean, that's going to happen when you go down to the bayou. But there's a lot in that recipe that people do not like Brian Kelly. The way D-Bud explained it earlier is like, yeah, he's got a little prick and a little asshole in him. It's like all those stories are coming out in abundance now at this point. point. But if he wins, nobody fucking cares,
Hey,
JB.
with all that being said, I think he's a hell of a coach. I think, like I said, I played against the Cincinnati team in college. You see what he did in Notre Dame. People don't like how he left. Obviously, Marcus Freeman stayed and took the head coaching job. I think it obviously worked out for Nick Saban over there. I think it's going to work out for Kelly, not as well, obviously. I think he's a good football coach. A lot of these coaches are assholes, at the end of the day, but they get results. A lot of these CEOs are assholes. A lot of these politics, they get results. As long as you get results, everything going to be happening, especially if you're getting, 90, 100 million. Yeah, you can call me what you want.
Hilarious.
Let's on that. Hey, it is a results-oriented business, man. And I wouldn't pay him the money because, like you said, he hasn't earned the results, in my opinion. He's been good. He's been good at every place he's been, but he has nothing to show for it. He ain't won not one natty. And D2 he did, but not no D1 natty. And there's only
you ain't winning natty in Notre Dame.
There's only a couple cats that have.
Whoa. Hold on, JB. Hold on 1 second. Darius, what did you say? You're not going to win a natty at Notre Dame? I think you're set up to win a natty at Notre Dame, aren't you? You're set up to win one.
No. Once we've seen what happened with Notre Dame getting those playoffs. You start bumping.
Yeah, but they still make it in there every day. You know what I mean? They're like set up to win.
Yeah, because they run through that weak schedule every year. And then they get in there, go top 4, and then they go and get the brakes beat off of them. So when you go with Kelly, he's moved up, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and now you're at a spot where, all right, now I can get these same dogs. I can recruit these same guys. So now I'm playing, now I'm in the same fight with the same gun. So it's a different ball game right now. It's a lot of great coaches out there. Shit, Lincoln Riley, he hasn't sniffed the championship. He just got $100 million too. So a lot of people aren't going to win, especially with that buzzsaw down in the SEC. So until you get down there, until you can at least recruit kind of type players like a Clemson, even Ohio State, I think those guys got a better chance than Notre Dame. You even said it earlier. You're not even recruiting JUCO players in Notre Dame. Come on, man.
Okay, so we got to move on. This has been a great conversation, though, and I appreciate both of you in there. And I'm sure Brian Kelly really appreciates us having this talk, too. Brian
Kelly don't give a damn.
He don't give a fuck about except for his family.
Oklahoma gets boat raced, too, and that's the thing in the BCS. So they get boat raced every year in the BCS, too. So it's kind of it's a weird situation. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's get to the games tomorrow. This is a big time weekend, JB.
Yeah.
We got big championship rivalry weekend was awesome. Championship weekend now. Good for college football. We're here. Who should we be betting on tomorrow, JB?
Well, tonight it starts Oregon Pac-12, the shitty Pac-12 right now. Oregon, Utah. I picked Oregon 2 weeks ago on this show because Oregon had everything to lose and they were still one ahead of Ohio State. And I was thinking, they had the best victory of the year, beating Ohio State in Ohio at Ohio State. And they shit down their leg and get fucking mud stomped by Utah. And basically, to me, it's a nuts and guts deal. And Utah's playing as well. I mean, you could take it how you want it, but they're playing as well as anyone in America right now, simply because that D-line play, their O-line play. Cameron Rising, a quarterback transfer from University of Texas, who I recruited to Indy. He's a SoCal kid. I'm glad he bet on himself. He chose to sit out at Utah and not come play for me at JUCO and sat out the last 2, and now it's paying off for him. So I give him respect for it, for doing it this way, the harder way. But he's leading that team, man, and it's going to be hard to go against them tonight. They're favored by 3. They're -3, and I just think they're going to hold on and get it done tonight, and I'll take them on a field goal.
Hey, congrats to Utah. Congrats to Utah. Way to go. And I love the fact that they chose not to play for me. But
at least it's 5 o'clock, Pat, and not 7 on the West Coast where nobody else in the past Mississippi will watch the fucking game. So that's another Pac-12 flaw to me. They play at 7 o'clock. Like, nobody's watching you. Houston, I'm going to take to cover against Cincy. I think Cincy wins it. They've gone too far. They've came too far. But Houston's a pretty good club, man. 11-1. I think they can score. Cincy's -10.5. I think it's a touchdown game. It can go either way, but I got Cincy winning, but I think Houston will cover to 10.5.
A lot of points.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, even though college can get it out of hand, Cincinnati's proven that already, but I like that one. Michigan, Iowa. 11 points, Michigan, man. That's a lot, in my opinion. But I just think that Harbaugh, has too much to prove. I think that he's going to get them going. I think Michigan stomps Iowa. I think they win by more than 11.
Oh, no. How many times 11? 11 times what you think?
I see that piss yellow sweater over there, too.
That's right.
Georgia Bama is the big one, man. You know, it's an ironic one. And then I got the Pitt game after this one. But Georgia Bama, Pat, Devo, that's a different one, man. -6.5 Georgia. I think the quarterback's going to play with his asshole puckered, man, to be honest. Kirby has yet to beat Saban. Georgia by 6.5. Georgia's covered pretty much every game they've been favored in, even by the 30s and shit. They were favored in Kentucky games and stuff. I think Saban is just going to show him, you know, I'm still your daddy. And I think Bama's going to pull it off. I think Bryce Young's going to ball out and earn his Heisman, because I think if Bryce Young can beat Georgia, I think he's the only candidate worthy of the Heisman.
Okay, so Bama,
the Heisman has been pretty watered down this year. It's pretty bad.
Bama +6.5.
Yeah, Georgia's favorite -6.5. I got Bama covering
anytime
that.
you get Bama +6.5, and listen, we might be completely wrong because that Georgia defense is fucking unbelievable. But you have to be able to move the ball. You have to be able to move the.
Georgia hasn't played a quarterback like Bryce with the Mitchies and those athletes on the edge either. So I think if Bama can score 14 early points, I think Georgia's going to have to try to score, and I don't think Georgia is known for a scoring offense, even though they do put up points against these mediocre teams, of course. I don't think you're going to be able to have that success versus Bama. Now, they can come out and just say, fuck it, we're your new daddy now, motherfucker. I don't know. We're going to see. But Alabama's played shitty the last few weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if that was by design, man. And Bama's been, Saban's been prepping Georgia for a few weeks now. That's just what he's known for. So,
Satan Saban on there thinking ahead, getting ready for the D-Butt. What do you think about that? What do you think about Georgia?
I'm taking Saban and Bama with those points.
Me too. I think we're all supposed to, though, right, D-Butt?
Yeah.
I got that Georgia defense. I mean, I think they had a D lineman in the Heisman race or some shit like that. He's a monster. But that quarterback, I think Bama obviously has a better quarterback. And then that Cincy game, I know you said he's been good. Like I said, I don't know shit about college ball, but I know Fickle, he's trying to get $100 million too, and he's trying to get in those playoffs, stay in the playoffs. So I think he's going to try to run it up. So I'll take Cincy to cover. But the other ones I'm going to stay away from. I don't know too much about it.
Hey, I don't know shit about it either except for what JB tells us. Now,
I do more games.
Okay.
You got Pitt, Wake. All right, that's for the title. Two different teams other than Clemson this year. Pitt's favored by 3, -3. I'm taking Pitt. Wake Forest has been struggling the last few. They were undefeated, and they've lost 2 out of 3. I'm going to take Pitt to win it. I think the head coach there is looking for a bigger payday, too. I got Pitt -3. And then the other one is Baylor, Oklahoma State, man. I think this is just my opinion. I don't know. You guys can debate it, but Baylor, Oklahoma State -5.5. I think Oklahoma State gets it done and earns a playoff berth.
Man, okay, here we go. That'd be huge. Cincy would get kicked out then, even if they won. That would be quite a ripple effect across all of college football. So we got Utah -3. You got Pitt -3. You have Houston covering 10.5. Oklahoma State -5.5. Michigan -11 and a lot more. He said, if you want to go alternate spread.
Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said
love you, JB. Not a chance.
And then he's got Bama +6.5 like the rest of us. JB, I can't wait to see how this does and chit-chat with you next week, brother.
All right, brother. I appreciate you guys.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the real coach, JB.
Yeah, coach!
How's he do? How's his bets do? I see a lot of...
I'm not sure. I thought he was
I'm
crushing.
pretty jacked up. He's on Michigan.
What? Oh, wow.
I thought he
Michigan
was
State
slaying.
won last week. He had that one.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he's been calling stuff.
Yeah, I thought he's been slaying.
Darius, as we wrap this thing up, anything we haven't talked about that you would like to talk about that you think should be talked about, or should we go to the phone calls?
Let's go to phone calls.
All right, let's do it. This will be fun.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday.
Yes.
That's right.
All right, let's think of a contest. Somebody in here. By the time we answer these phone calls, we've got 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
Oh, we do have a PS5.
PS5.
Oh, we should give a
There it
PS5
is.
away.
There you go.
PMS PS5.
Hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday.
Still tough to get their hands on.
They're impossible.
You're right. We got people camping overnight to get on.
I see people getting scammed left and right on somebody's account is hacked on Twitter. Hey, selling PS5s. That's how I know it's still tough to get.
I saw someone get an empty box the other day.
Ain't none of those. We got last year by a couple of those. They had a blue check mark on the account.
Yeah.
Ain't
They got Vontae. They got Vontae early this year. I texted. I said, Tay, come on, Tay. We can't be clicking on links out here.
Hey, no, man, I thought I was getting it. No. It's a young man game, no. Oh, man.
What if they had to guess your favorite PlayStation game growing up?
Okay, yeah, there it is. Guess and I'm a known gamer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I did play a couple games on there, actually, and I just thought of one. I'm not going to say it aloud, obviously, because that is the thing. Hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday. Guess my favorite PlayStation game growing up. You will enter in to win a PS5. If you and other people get it right, which I assume will happen, you'll go into a bunch. We'll randomly select. Boom, you win. Thank you so much for watching on this Feel Good Friday. Let's give away PS5.
I just guessed it. I think I know it.
I do too.
Say it. Go ahead, say it.
I'm going to go Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
Good game.
Twisted Metal.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Damn.
I'm going Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
What?
NHL 98.
The fights.
All right, let's go to the phones. That's the hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday to win a PS5 that we have gotten our hands on. Shout out Zito.
Yeah.
Let's go, Z.
Let's go to Bobby in Jersey. What's going on, Bobby?
What's up, DB? How we doing, boys?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good,
That's
but
good.
my fantasy team's fucked. What the hell is going on with Zeke? We got Pollard taking a third of the snaps, and Zeke's just not. They're not feeding him no more. Is it because they're trying to let him trim down more? I don't know, but I don't think he's going to be a Cowboy next year. Are they just going to stick with Pollard?
Great question, Bobby. And I could see how fantasy or anytime touchdown score bettors or anything like that, after hearing what Jerry has said on Wednesday about Zeke getting a load and then not happening, I could see you being distraught like this. Zeke visually banged up is what D-Butt said. How do you think that ends with Zeke in Dallas?
I think they definitely cut ties when they get a chance. And if you look around the NFL, all of the high-paid running backs, a lot of them are banged up. So that's a tough position to pay. Even though I want everybody to get paid, that's a tough position to pay, man. But I think he's out of there after this year. Whenever they can get, I don't know his details of his contract. Whenever it makes sense for them.
All right, Chris Mad Dog Russo's next. Cheers. Nailed it, D-Butt. Nailed it. We had a hard out there at 56. You could have never known because I never told you. And we didn't lead into it at all, but you nailed it, pal. You nailed it. Hey, it was awesome chatting with you today. We've been getting more guests, which means less bullshit time. We got to get you back on more often, D-Butt.
Let's do it, man.
I think my favorite thing, Brian Kelly having 5-6 accents in the bag is maybe.
Unbelievable. D-Butt, you got to come to Indy. It's really nice this time of the year.
Yeah, it was 62
What is
days
it, about
ago.
42 right now?
No.
60.
It's beautiful today.
Sunny. It's 60 and sunny, but those days are gone. Because now there will be clouds every day from now on.
Oh.
It will
What time
rain.
does it get dark?
5:30.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the same here.
Really? Down in Miami?
Yeah, it gets dark quick down here, probably like 6:15, something like that.
We landed in Pittsburgh at 4 o'clock yesterday, and it was getting dark, and it was a mist and rain. It gets dark at like 4:30 in Pittsburgh, 5 o'clock.
How did everything go?
It went well. We haven't made the big announcement yet, but last night everything went well. It's a part of, there's an entire thing going on here.
The overarching.
Cool.
Had to get in there, though, answer some questions before anything, came to public.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Hey, we're up to something big, dude.
Mm-hmm. Man, I've been here for a couple weeks, just saying it.
Well, maybe I do need to be, this is the first time where I've been the sole negotiator. Only me. So maybe I got ahead of myself a little bit when some conversations went too well, and then it was like, oh, wait, whoa, there is still a lot to be figured out. There is still a lot. I thought we were good. Okay. I'll remember that next time. I'll learn from this particular situation.
Yeah, of course.
But we're there. Yeah. It is great to be here, too. Me and Superintendent had some great conversations yesterday.
Hell yeah.
It was a one-way convo, a lot of it, but that was a lot of fun.
A lot of listening.
A lot of listening for the superintendent. I'm sure he doesn't do a lot of that during his life if I had to.
No.
It's awesome.
Nuh-uh.
All right, I'm out of here. I got to hop on a plane in San Antonio.
Safe travels, man.
What do you got this weekend? Down of the year stuff?
Yep. Kicking back, chilling. Watching, hopefully hitting every bet, hitting every pick.
Hell yeah.
Watching some football, man. This is the time of the year where I actually do watch some college football because games are closer, they're good games, tight games, championships on the line. So I'll do some of that this weekend as well.
Well, I guess down in Miami or South Florida, you don't get to experience this, I guess, because it's getting darker early. But once that chill hits the air and it gets like cold, like if you're from a cold weather city, you played at UConn, you get it. It just feels like, oh, these are important games. Like this matters. And rivalry week was awesome last week, getting to turn that on. And then championship, it's like, okay, there's good games, good teams. It's cold. This is actually it. I'm pumped about it. And hopefully you get everyone right that we agreed on. You know, that's what I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. Everyone.
Before we do get out of here, I know it's a big baseball show. Todd, what's going on with the lockout, man? What do these guys want?
League's dead. League's dead. There's a work stoppage. Who cares? It's football season, baby.
What?
We'll pick back up in March.
This is what we're going to do, though. Like, you know how the long drive thing had a little bit of a run there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we get into the big baseball whacker guy league. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We should just get these big meathead dudes in the league, not in the league still. Go ahead and take all the shit that Sammy, Barry, and all of them boys were taking, Mark.
Great era.
The best.
Bring back
Great
steroids.
It's not safe at all. Nobody can sign off on bringing back steroids. We get it. You're in a bad spot.
Yep.
We're just starting a new league that has less rules to begin with. So we don't have to draw back any rules because we don't have any of those rules to begin with. And you actually pay the pitchers there to throw juice in there.
Yeah.
It's fastball only.
Yep.
So it's fastball on hitter. Home runs are the only runs. And it's two squads travel around like Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
Yes.
Smart.
Who says no?
Strike zone is only down the middle.
Baseball's good.
I tune in.
So you got like 4 pitchers, 5 batters.
Yep.
Gas only.
These guys are throwing only fastballs right down the middle. You're going to need more than 4 arms. You're going to need more than 4 arms.
What are you talking about?
Those guys, that Gas, by the end of a 2-week stand, he's going to be throwing 70 right down the middle.
So you're saying we're not having a game every night? I mean, this is a once a week.
Yeah.
Oh, once a week.
This is a Friday night in the middle of the summer. Go out to the ballpark. Watch the big baseball whacker guys and the fast baseball thrower guys.
Then we're good.
Yeah. Zambelli.
Have a pitch count, too. Have a pitch count on them.
Yeah, and you get points, I guess. You get points for...
Perfect.
So we created baseball. We created Topgolf for baseball.
Nice.
75 pitches, the strikes and out, and, whoever gets the most points.
Yeah, well, I guess there should be like a point for if it's fouled off.
Okay.
If you hit if it lands in the infield, it's a certain amount of points. If it hits in the outfield, it's a certain. If it's a home run, it's fireworks, big points. Yeah, and then they just travel around week to week against each other. We fucking fixed baseball.
Boom.
I'll watch.
Need Shohei Ohtani on both teams, though. He'll represent himself in this.
Yes.
He's his own team.
Yeah, he will throw and hit. He's on both teams, dude. Fucking
The
legend.
GOAT.
He's the best player of all time.
Greatest player all time.
Hell yeah.
Told these guys a while ago they called us crazy.
We have been telling these baseball people that watch a very boring sport for a living is their favorite thing when football is available. And we're talking American football, even though there are people that watch the other football over the American football, like the people that watch baseball choose baseball over American football. And I'm confused by all of them. But I feel like, as an outsider looking at their boring sport, there was an electric factory that came in from Japan who was playing better on one side of the plate than everybody else and on the other side of the plate than everybody else. Is this not the best player of all time? How is this guy not on national TV all 7,000 games he plays this year?
Because the team he's on stinks.
Okay. And they got the 2 best guys in baseball.
They do. And they won like fucking 70 games this year.
Baseball stinks. Wow. But it is now, moment of silence, by the way, for MLB. It is dead, dude. It's been a long... Everybody have a great weekend. I'll be in San Antonio tonight for SmackDown. D-Butt, thank you for joining us today, dude.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you having me on Monday.
AJ Hawk, I hope you have an incredible vacation. To all the boys, thank you for all your efforts. To everybody that watches, you're the absolute best. Make sure you get in for a PS5 hashtag PMS Feel Good Friday. What was my favorite PlayStation game growing up? We're currently giving that away. I guess it's number 3 right now on Twitter. Thank you all. You're the best people on earth. And when we announce this thing, I think you all are going to be pretty pumped up as well. I feel like giving away shit is kind of just naturally in my being. So the bigger everything gets, obviously the bigger everything gets for everybody, hopefully. And that's the way life should be, I think. You know, when you win, there's
text Vontae, man, tell him you're giving away this.
Hey, fuck you, dude. All right, we'll see.
Send him one now too.
Yeah, we'll try to get one for Vontae. I know it's hard to get out there in the streets.
Hard to get.
We'll see you on Monday, everybody. Cheers.